Do you think the Panchamasali Lingayat reservation issue backfired for the BJP? You've spoken to the Jayam Swami, you've spoken to other Swamijis of the Panchamasali sect. What really worked for the Congress?
Well, see, first thing, Bommai did try to negotiate with the Panchamasalis. He pacified the community. The other thing which I'd like to point out is that many people fail to understand that Lingayat is not a homogeneous community. There are hundreds of subcastes, Banajiga, Sadar Lingayat, and you also have Ganiga Lingayat, to which Lakshman Savadi belongs to. So it's not a homogeneous community. The whole community does not support BJP. When it comes to Lakshman Savadi, as I pointed out yesterday also, he belongs to Ganiga community. So obviously Ganiga will vote for Lakshman Savadi, not Basavangowda Patil who belongs to Panchamasali community. So vice versa. That's the scenario. And that's the thing which many of the journalists or any other people who are analyzing the Lingayat community, how they vote for BJP, they fail to understand this. So this time I think Savadi made an impact there, and even Panchamasalis, a section of community leaders who were upset with the fact that they were not given the required reservation 2A status, it would have made a minimal impact there. So all these reasons summed up, along with the lack of leadership in the Kittur Karnataka region, especially in Belagavi, all these reasons summed up, you had the results now.
Akshara, that's a very valid point. Perhaps the BJP saw the entire Lingayat community as one, but as Akshara is pointing out, there are several subsects and there are subplots. There are leaders for each of these leaders. We have some great development happening at Mallikarjun Kharge's residence, fast-paced development. Let's go across to Purnima. Purnima, perhaps a very, very crucial meeting which decides the fate of the next Congress government. Can the Congress ensure there's a peaceful deal on the power sharing? Will it be Sriramulu for the full 5-year tenure? Will D.K. Shivakumar settle for the Deputy Chief Minister post? What are you picking up there at Mallikarjun Kharge's residence?
Well, I think the meeting has ended because the police security, they've gathered outside the residence. So we'll have to see if all of them are leaving for the Congress party headquarters. But discussions still underway, whether they've come to a consensus, whether they've worked out on a formula, whether both sides, both camps are happy, all that remains to be seen. But right now, police personnel have gathered outside the residence. We'll have to see if all of them are now leaving for the party headquarters. Both Sriramulu, D.K. Shivakumar inside, and senior leaders also present at the meeting. So far, no consensus has been reached. They still have time till tomorrow to see if both camps are happy. But at the moment, hard bargaining from D.K. Shivakumar's camp is what we are hearing.
Well, Purnima, we'll come back to you, but let's just get a quick glance of what's happening outside the Congress party office. You can perhaps hear all the drums going on. The chandes are there, the tamtes are there. You have hundreds of people gathered here, all of them from different camps, whether it's D.K. Shivakumar camp or the Sriramulu camp, all of them hoping that their favorite leader goes on to become the next Chief Minister of Karnataka. Some great visuals from outside Congress office, something that the Congress party hasn't seen in a very long time. Perhaps 2013 is when we last saw such a huge celebration outside Congress party office. Now, after a gap of nearly a decade, you have Congress once again back in power, and Karyakartas from different parts of not just Bengaluru, from across Karnataka coming in here at the Congress party office. Let's quickly go across to Ritu, who's been tracking Sriramulu and Varuna. Ritu, you've tracked Sriramulu, you've also gone to Varuna, but more importantly, you've also gone to coastal Karnataka, you've gone to Uttara Kannada. Not much changing there, but the crucial aspect that one has to analyze is you have somebody like B.C. Nagesh, who was the face of the government action against hijab, losing, but Yashpal Suvarna, who also played a crucial role in the whole hijab agitation, winning. How did it pan out for the BJP there?
Well, was that to me?
Ritu Rajpurohit, I'm asking you, you've covered Uttara Kannada, you've covered coastal Karnataka, you've also covered the hijab issue. But you see the results have been different for different people. B.C. Nagesh loses, but on the other hand, you have Yashpal Suvarna, who's been the face of that agitation, winning there.
Well, in the coastal Karnataka, you see, it has worked out somewhere not in favor of the BJP. That we did get to see how that the BJP had to face a backlash as well in that region. But of course, with the hijab issue that was actually racked up, there seems to be that the Suvarna actually he got a major benefit out of it, that he had seen a victory there. But however, other candidates of the BJP, moreover, the big faces have also lost it this time. So you remember when I was in the Uttar Kannada, I did speak to you about that, how that the people this time really want to work on their image. They want that, they don't want to be associated with the kind of violences that had taken place, because coastal belt, and one thought that really comes to the people's mind is about the communal violences that actually takes place often in that belt. So this time looks like the people really ensured that they wanted to work on their image. They wanted to go by the candidate and also work off the public representative, and that's the reason that we have got to see this time a change as well there in the coastal belt. But however, that is a big thing, that what the kind of verdict that has come out from the coastal belt. So that is something not good to the BJP, but needs to be seen now that how is Yediyurappa going to ensure how the things for the BJP will work in the future.
Rohini, the other aspect one has to point out here is a massive number of ministers losing. Rohini, if you can hear me, nearly a dozen ministers losing. On the other hand, you have some of the bigwigs when we talk about ministers. Someone like Sudhakar, who many believed was pumping in a lot of money into Chikballapura. Someone who was seen everywhere, high decibel campaign. He too loses. You also have people like BC Nagesh, who were really catering to the ideology of the BJP. They also lost. Was it purely anti-incumbency, or do you think people really thought that all these ministers didn't really work, although they were always on media and spoke about some of the most contentious issues?
Well, if you notice that the Congress had accused the BJP of 40% commission, the BJP government have lost 40% of their ministers this time, and they lost quite badly in their constituencies. Also, if you notice that some of these ministers who are there were accommodated because they were the ones who had jumped from the Congress and JDS to the BJP. And most of them seem to have lost it because of anti-incumbency in those seats. And if you go to those seats as well, you can see it very clearly that there is a sense that people felt, one, that they felt that there was not much development done, even though they moved to the BJP, which was in power. And they kept talking about the double-engine government, but they did not see the double-engine actually working on the ground. And also, if you see that most of them have been actually TV superstars or social media superstars, tweeting and being there on media and discussions. But at the end of the day, clearly on the ground, they don't seem to have had that connect. And that is why people voted them out of power. Now, for example, if you take the health minister, Mr. Dr. Sudhakar, he was in the forefront of the COVID fight that we saw in Karnataka. He was all over the place, and he was also known to be very closely working with the Chief Minister, Mr. Basavaraj Bommai. Despite the fact that, in spite of being working so-called so hard, we did see that how he has fared in his own seat where he lost it. And we have seen some major losses that have happened for the BJP here. And that is why the BJP is saying they want to go back to the drawing board and see where they went wrong. But clearly, there is a sense of anti-incumbency because they felt that those MLAs who actually shifted for their own personal gain did it for themselves and not for the people of Karnataka.
Absolutely. Perhaps anti-incumbency was a huge factor that the BJP underestimated. Remember, there have been several big faces. One of them was Lakshman Savadi. The party said he is not a candidate who would win. He's lost earlier. We won't give him a ticket. He goes to the Congress, wins with a massive majority. Akshara, you covered Athani, went to Belagavi. It's almost a redemption of sorts for Lakshman Savadi. Lost, became a deputy chief minister, became an MLC. The BJP thought he's of no use for the party, but comes back with a massive lead and defeats Mahesh Kuntali there.
Well, you see, two reasons which I'd like to put forth is that Lakshman Savadi, first, when I went there, what I learned is that he speaks Kannada and Marathi very fluently. And that's a plus point for the bordering region of Maharashtra. And BJP used him very extensively in order to campaign for the bordering region, in order to woo those Marathi-speaking population. So that was a plus point for the Congress when he joined the Congress party. Second, as I pointed out, he belongs to Ganika community, and Ganika community are the oil puller community, and they reside wherever groundnut is grown. And groundnut is grown in almost Bagalkot, Bidar and neighboring districts. So obviously these community people would vote for Lakshman Savadi. Not whole community, but almost significant chunk of population would vote for community. So this will have an impact not just in his constituency, but surrounding constituencies as well. So that's the key factor that's what helped the Congress party when Savadi quit BJP and joined Congress.
Now, do you think it also changed the dynamics in the Belagavi region? We've seen families making Belagavi their fiefdom, but now you have others entering, the Congress gaining a foothold there. The Congress senses opportunity in Belagavi to dominate that region.
Well, yes, absolutely. Yes, family is dominated, but the whole scenario has changed now. Once from the beginning, they lacked senior leaders. There was a vacuum of senior leadership there. Many senior leaders passed away. So BJP did try to use the Modi factor there. In fact, if I can remember very clearly, there was a mega rally started by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, starting from Belgavi. So they did try to get the appeal of the Prime Minister there. So it was very obvious that it lacked the senior leadership there, but now once again Savadi quitting BJP and joining Congress, and many other leaders who followed, not top leaders but his followers as well. So that was a factor for the Congress, which was a plus point for the Congress there.
Absolutely. Let me quickly go across to Rohini. Rohini, one quick question. Bellary, Kalyan Karnataka region, somebody like Sriramulu losing, was it an absolute shocker for many people? Because many people thought that Sriramulu can never be defeated in Bellary rural. He has the strong support of the Valmiki community. But absolute shocker that he is lost from there, and lost with a decent margin in fact.
Well, Harish, truth be told, it's a shocker for me as well, because though I visited Bellary, I went along with Sriramulu, and I did also speak to people there. At no point of time did I get that kind of sense that he could lose that particular seat. Like you said, there is always the feeling that Sriramulu said, this is the place that has given me my political birth, and I will continue and people will support me. He had that confidence because he also felt that people of Bellary will never let him down. But I was also told this, and this was advice given to me by a few people on the ground, saying people in that region, especially in Kalyan Karnataka and in Bellary, will say one thing, but they will, when they go to cast their vote, will do something differently, because end of the day they want to see development. Possibly also the factor of Janardhan Reddy's new political party, and Sriramulu also extending his friendly support to him as well, has had its effect and ramifications in that area, because a lot of people thought that he had half his heart win Gangavati with Janardhan Reddy as well. But at the same time, a person who's a leader, an ST leader like from the Valmiki community, like Sriramulu, losing in Bellary itself is not just a shocker for a lot of the political analysts in that region as well, and also for me, because I did not at any point of time get a sense that he could have actually lost the seat.
Absolutely, a huge shocker for many people. Well, all bunch of us, the reporters from Karnataka, have got you some in-depth reports, insightful commentary on what is happening in Karnataka. We'll continue doing that, continue our wall-to-wall coverage, and also keep you posted on what's happening in that race for the next Chief Minister. But time for a short break. We'll be back with more news on the other side.
accept the verdict of the people of Karnataka with all humility. And I also take the responsibility of the debacle in the district.
हमने नफरत से, गलत शब्दों से ये लड़ाई नहीं लड़ी। हमने मोहब्बत से, प्यार से, दिल खोल के ये लड़ाई लड़ी और कर्नाटक की जनता ने हमें दिखाया कि ये देश मोहब्बत इस देश को अच्छी लगती है।
It's a big victory for the Congress party. The people of Varna constituency, particularly the voters of Varna constituency, has given a befitting reply.
I can't forget Srimati Sonia Gandhi coming to meet me in jail when all these BJP people put me under jail.
Over Bengaluru, the beautiful skyline, and Karnataka has decided a decisive, convincing victory for the Congress party at 136. The BJP has been decimated at 65. JDS is almost there, but not really there with 19, so it cannot be a king or a kingmaker. But the big picture in Karnataka Assembly is looking like this. Just look at these numbers. It's blue all the way, the blue, complete blue. The halfway mark is 113, the Congress crossing over to 136, a convincing victory, as we said. There cannot be any effort at some other government formation. This is the government of the Congress party. They're yet to decide the chief ministerial candidate, and they are yet to figure out whether there will be a formula 1+3 or 1+2. As far as the BJP is concerned, they have lots to introspect. What went wrong? And remember, this is coming before the 2024 Assembly Lok Sabha elections. Although, like most states in India, Karnataka also votes very differently in Assembly elections and in the Lok Sabha elections. With me here, our Managing Editor Zaka Jacob. Zaka, what is the big game changer idea in these results?
I think this is as big, if not a bigger victory than SM Krishna in 1999. SM Krishna won with 132. Today at the Congress party with 136 seats. If you have to get to a situation in Karnataka history, in political history of Karnataka, for a bigger margin than this, 136, you have to go all the way back to 1989, the iconic election of Virendra Patil, when the Congress won 178 seats. Mr. Devegowda, when he won in 1994, had fewer than this. SM Krishna had 132. And then, of course, subsequently, the margins have been coming down. When Sriramulu first became Chief Minister in 2013, he had 122. Now, 136, which is a gain of 56 seats from the last time. The BJP down to 65. 65 is what the BJP got in the first breakthrough election that they had in 1999. So clearly, it's a wave of blue across regions. I just want to sort of paint this picture and just highlight where the Congress has been winning its numbers. Clearly, they've won a huge number of seats here in the southern Karnataka region, in Old Mysore. A huge bucket of seats in Greater Mysore region, going all the way even up to the Kodagu district. The 2 seats in Kodagu district has been won by the Congress. You've got a whole bunch of seats here in the central part, which was traditionally the BJP constituency. You look at the 2018 map and just highlight the BJP seats. Look at this. This entire belt was a sea of saffron. I'm talking about Shimoga, Hosadurga, Chitradurga, these entire belt here in central Karnataka, which is a Lingayat belt, which used to be dominated by the BJP last time around. This time, it's the Congress that has won. Just once again want to highlight where else the Congress has won its numbers from. Here we go. And as you move northwards, here again, Kittur, Karnataka, we've talked about this again and again, because in places like Belgaum, in Bagalkot, again in Bidar, Raichur, Hyderabad, Karnataka, that belt as well, you can see a sea of blue. Again, just quickly compare this with how it was in 2018 and look at the saffron here. So much more saffron here in Kittur, Karnataka, as opposed to what it was in 2023. Where the BJP has managed to retain its strongholds, in coastal. A large number of the seats in Udupi, Mangaluru, Dakshin Kannada, even some parts of Uttar Kannada, they've managed to get retain a large number of those seats. Last I checked, out of those 21 seats, I think about 16 or 17 the BJP was able to retain. They've had big gains in Bengaluru, in the outer Bengaluru constituencies, as well as some of the inner constituencies as well. Out of the 28 seats, the BJP was leading, last I checked, in 16, the Congress in 11. So clearly, there seems to be something that, whether it's the Modi Road Show or call it what you want, but something has worked for them in Bengaluru city in a way it hadn't in previous elections. So these are the only two areas, coastal Karnataka and Bengaluru city, where the BJP has managed to win just about, or at least retain some of its seats. The rest of the story, as far as the state is concerned, is clearly a Congress show from south to the central part to the north. And I think, you know, when a party sweeps like this, 136 seats, you have to win in every region. And I think that's what the Congress has managed to do.
So the Congress has broad-based its constituent or the communities that have voted for the Congress party. Prakash Lavadi and also B.S. Arun in the studio. Big takeaway for you, Prakashji.
I think the vote share that the Congress has got is astonishing. I think it's historic, probably the biggest ever or in a very long time. And, you know, to me, why it is astonishing is that if the BJP indeed, if everybody who voted for BJP, almost all of them have voted for BJP again, for them to lose so much means that the votes that went from JDS went only to the Congress. And the BJP will have to see that its Hindutva agenda just works up only up to a point and there it stops. It needs to do better than that, you know, all that hijab, halal, lackluster governance, no new ideas, constantly like just bickering on identity politics. Well, you know, you'll have to be frozen
the
here.
Congress has realized that it has to fight elections like regional players, and that is the best way to take on the BJP. Zaka,
this vote share, what Prakash was talking about, the BJP's vote share is more or less what it was the last time around. So, I mean, this could have been far worse had the last 2 weeks not happened with this whole, you know, enthusing of their cadre happened. But look at the Congress's vote share. It's gone up by 3 plus 2, 5%. That doesn't normally happen in
but that 5% is there.
That 5% has come from the JDS.
That's
a large chunk of it has come from the JDS because the independent vote share has also been more or less the same. Another story is for the JDS. Look at over the last 4 or 5 election cycles, from a 20% vote share party, it's now come down to almost a 10% vote share party. I think there is a story there for the JDS. B.S. Arun, you want to weigh in on this? Because if they continue in this trajectory, it's only a matter of one or two election cycles. The BJP will become the second important player in the old Mysore region.
Yes, the next election for Janata Dal will be the 24 Lok Sabha elections, and where it may not perform very well. They have one MP, is a Hassan MP, the grandson of Deve Gowda, and they will have to struggle to retain that seat now.
Prajwal's.
Yeah,
Prajwal.
Okay. We'll see how that plays out. But let's now bring you some of the big signpost figures, as we are calling it here, on our election coverage here at CNN News 18. What were the big numbers, the signpost numbers in what is arguably a phenomenal victory as far as the Congress party is concerned? So, let's bring it up one by one as to what worked for the Congress and what is it that did not work for the BJP and, of course, for the JDS. The Congress, a whopping majority, 136 out of 224. Like I said, the only comparable one is 132 that SM Krishna won in 1999. As far as the BJP is concerned, remember, Karnataka has been a state that has been voting in and voting out governments. Look at that vote share difference. There is a 4 plus 3, 7% vote share difference between the Congress and the BJP. When you have a 7% vote share difference, that is a swing election. That is a wave election. And that's what we're seeing in the seat breakup as well. As far as Karnataka goes, from 1985, and we've been seeing this since Ramakrishna Hegde, the incumbent government has always been voted out, and that tradition continues with Basavaraj Bommai as well. One big tipping factor, and we'll show this on the wall as well, Ahinda, which was a Siddaramaiah coinage for backwards, Dalits and minorities. They have consolidated in a big way. SC Dalits have consolidated, and so have scheduled tribes in a big way consolidated around the Congress party. Its vote share, as Prakash was saying a moment ago, the Congress party's vote share has gone up by about 5 or 6%, much of it coming at the expense of the Janata Dal secular. So, clearly, these are the big takeaways as far as the Congress, the JDS, and of course, it is the worst performance of the JDS in the last 20 years. We showed you that vote share decline from a 1 in 5 vote party. They have now pretty much been reduced to a 1 in 10 vote party. Now the focus shifts to who is going to be Chief Minister. Is it Sriramulu, the backward caste leader, the Ahinda champion, or is it going to be DK Shivakumar, the Vokaliga champion from Kanakpura? He had an emotional soundbite today. Modi magic, of course, swaying Bengaluru like we showed a moment ago. Out of the 28 seats, the BJP was leading last in 16 and the Congress only in 11. So in Bengaluru seats, there seems to have been 46 urban seats, the Congress winning 26 of them. These were tight fights, and the BJP winning only 20 of them. The BJP managing to retain its strongholds in the coastal belt. There is a shift, a significant shift from the BJP to the Congress in the Lingayat stronghold belts. In coastal, like I said, out of the 21 seats there, the BJP managing to retain about 17 of those seats. So those are the big signpost numbers from the Karnataka election of 2023.
Yes, and as we come back on ground, the big numbers that we have seen, the focus is that if there is a shift in the Lingayat constituency, what does it mean for the BJP going forward in 2024 in particular? That's the big challenge coming for the BJP. Sanju Verma, BJP national spokesperson, joining us. Kota Nilima is Congress spokesperson. We have Ratna HP from the JDS. Vivek Narayan is managing editor of South. Prakash is joining me here in the studio. Also BS Arun. I'm going to begin with you, Kota Nilima. Yes, it is a victory, and I would congratulate each and every Congress leader for this convincing victory. But now the big challenge is that without any hiccup, they should ensure that there is government and governance in Karnataka.
Absolutely, Maria. We are all, of course, very enthused, very happy with the victory, but we have made promises to the people which we are going to fulfill as the Congress High Command, as Rahul ji, Priyanka ji, and our esteemed Congress President Kharge Saab, Sonia ji, everyone has assured one of the first things on agenda will be fulfilling the guarantees which the Congress has taken. This is a new style of politics. I think the analysis of this election has to shift its gears. It is still I think, a kind of a hangover of what has happened until now with the BJP, setting the agenda or trying to divert people's attention. Now that's where the analysis even today is. But we are not, I think the analysis, the way politics has to be looked at has to change. The way Congress is doing its politics. It's principled politics. We have seen that during Bharat Jodo Yatra. Nobody believed that, but now it is clear for everyone to see. The message has been loud and clear. There have been several declarations. There have been several ways in which the Congress party, the topmost leadership, has been talking about their promises, their guarantees.
So basically, you are saying that the Bharat Jodo Yatra, in which Rahul Gandhi spent over 30 days in Karnataka, set the road, set the template for this victory today.
Absolutely. Of course, then it was added on by the efforts of the
local
workers
leadership,
or of all levels of leadership, and of course the rallies which were held, the electrifying atmosphere in those rallies, which was underplayed by the media. Again, these things the gears have to shift now. The Congress has moved forward, the voter has moved forward in this country.
Yes.
There is a constant
Nilima, continue to stay with us. These are visuals coming in of Sriramulu, who could be perhaps the chief minister in waiting now, because he's all set and he has support of over 70% of the Congress MLAs. Yes, Vivek, the point here being made, did the victory of the Congress, did the entire idea or perhaps the base of this victory, was it laid during Rahul Gandhi's Bharat Jodo? Or no? What are your thoughts, Vivek?
Well, of course, it played a huge role in kind of unifying the Congress party.
That is Randeep Surjewala and KC Venugopal, both playing an important role in ensuring that there is complete coordination between the two camps, that is DK Shivakumar and Mr. Sriramulu. Go ahead, Vivek. Vivek, go ahead.
Exactly. The fact that it was a well-coordinated effort by the Congress party, the fact that professionals were handling this event and it was done exceptionally well. You and I know who are the professionals behind that that rally, which unified these completely divergent leaders who were at each other's throats at one point. The fact that seat selection post that was done in an extremely careful, transparent and merit-based system, and the fact that people like K.C. Venugopal, who had a taint last time, there were allegations of corruption and seat selling last time in Congress. That did not happen at this point. The people whose selection was purely merit-based, and that seems to have played a major role in the winning of Congress this way. Of course, it's not just one reason which has led to the victory of the Congress party. It's like a perfect storm which has hit the BJP. It's multiple issues. One, of course, should go back to 2018 when H.D. Kumaraswamy became the chief minister. His government was brought down in 2019 July when B.S. Yediyurappa came in with a very razor-thin majority. The fact that he went on for about a year and a half, he had to be brought down because such serious corruption charges against him, his son, even his own home minister coming out and speaking against him.
There seems to be some gathering of the Congress party. D.K. Shivakumar is now speaking. Let's try and listen to him. Is he addressing the party MLAs? We'll try and connect with Harish in just a bit to try and understand what exactly is this gathering in which there is D.K. Shivakumar, Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge. They are trying to really ensure that all the party MLAs are present and they are back in Bengaluru. So that's the show of strength of a united Congress with that raising of hand. The message that the Congress party is not a divided house. They tried to send a message. They fought a positive campaign and a united campaign at it. So what now? What next? Will it be about some kind of formula that will be worked out, Zaka? When we are looking at it, here is Mr. Sriramulu flashing that victory sign.
You know, obviously, the two protagonists were Sriramulu and D.K. Shivakumar, no doubt about it. Every ad, every communication, every messaging had the faces of both of them. But let's not forget, this is a huge victory for Mr. Kharge. This is his first big state election victory after becoming Congress president last year. It's his home state. Now, just think about it this way. Had he lost it, everybody, the knives would have been out for him. So he's playing that role, hopefully as mediator between D.K. Shivakumar and Sriramulu. But let's listen into Randeep Surjewala. He's the General Secretary in charge of the state.
नमस्कार साथियों, आज इस विशेष पत्रकार वार्ता में मैं सबसे पहले कांग्रेस अध्यक्ष श्री मल्लिकार्जुन खड़गे साहब, विधायक दल के नेता पूर्व मुख्यमंत्री सिद्धारमैया साहब, हमारे जुझारू अध्यक्ष प्रदेश कांग्रेस कमेटी श्री डी.के. शिवकुमार साहब, कौंसिल लीडर बी.के. हरिप्रसाद साहब, मेरे वरिष्ठ साथी जिनका मार्गदर्शन लगातार हम पर हमारे साथ बना रहा, कांग्रेस भारतीय राष्ट्रीय कांग्रेस के संगठन महासचिव श्री के.सी. वेणुगोपाल साहब, working presidents, AICC secretaries, dignitaries on the dais. Let me take this opportunity to welcome each one of my journalist friends from print and electronic media who's present here in this special press conference. I also thank all the enthusiastic leaders and workers of the Congress party who are present here as part of this special press conference. I assure you, you are on this dais in spirit, if not physically. Today is a historic occasion. Karnataka has created history. Karnataka has shown a new light for democracy, not only for people of Karnataka but for the entire country. ताली आप ना बजाइए, सिर्फ सुन लीजिए, मुझे आपके जोश की मैं कदर करता हूं. From the bottom of my heart, on behalf of my colleague K.C. Venugopalji, myself and each congressmen and women, millions and millions across the country. I want to thank 6.5 crore brothers and sisters of Karnataka, our fellow Kannadigas. This is a victory of every Kannadiga. This is a victory of every voter of Karnataka. This is not a victory of the Congress party alone. Today, the Swabhiman of Karnataka, the brand Karnataka, that has truly won. And I thank our fellow Kannadigas from the bottom of my heart on behalf of Indian National Congress and Karnataka Pradesh Congress Committee. This is a victory also of each and every toiling Congress worker and Congress leader who gave it all to ensure that Karnataka is free from a 40% corrupt government of the BJP, who toiled so that brand Karnataka could be rebuilt and path of progress and prosperity could happen again. I thank each one of our fellow Congress workers and Congress leaders. This is also a victory for my PCC president, my CLP leader and the entire team of our MLAs, ex-ministers, ex-MLAs, PCC office bearers, working presidents. Sriramulu ji, DK Shivakumar ji, this is also truly a victory and I congratulate both of you in particular. And above all, this is a victory for our guiding light, the President of the All India Congress Committee, who was there with us throughout, toiling much harder than a young person, going one constituency to another. Sir, this is a victory for you. I also take this opportunity to particularly thank Srimati Sonia Gandhi ji, without whose blessings, despite her not keeping so well, she make it a point. She called Khadge Saab, she called Venugopal ji, she called CLP leader, she called PCC president. And she said, I also want to come. And she contributed and she proved to be a lucky mascot, if I may say. It is special thanks to Srimati Sonia Gandhi from each and every worker. And I'll be failing in my duty if I will not thank our hero, our leader, a person who only guides us, a person who toils selflessly, a person who takes all the brickbats but never takes credit, the one and only Shri Rahul Gandhi ji. He traveled he walked for 600 kilometers almost. For 22 days he was with us in Karnataka. No wonder I was looking that almost every constituency that Bharat Jodo Yatra touched, that constituency Congress party has won. The Congress flag is flying there. Wherever Shri Rahul Gandhi ji went, almost 80-85% of those seats we have won. I thank Shri Rahul Gandhi on behalf of my PCC President DK Shivakumar ji, on behalf of my CLP leader, also on behalf of Khadge Saab, for spending so much time during the campaign. We almost feel he is a part of Karnataka, he is a Kannadiga. I especially also thank one more person who, by her words, by her road shows, by her affection and affiliation to the Congress workers, energize our cadre, Srimati Priyanka Gandhi ji. Despite keeping a little unwell at that point of time, she never backed out. Every single public meeting we requested her to come for, she came, she addressed, she mingled, she absolutely shared the affections and blessings of Kannadigas. I also...
That is coming in from that KPCC office, Prakash, is that it is about a united victory. Credit goes to one and all.
I think that is true also. I think you must credit, Mr. Rahul Gandhi for actually doing that walk, because I think politicians have stopped connecting with people, which is what Yediyurappa could do, which is what mass leaders can do. And I think you must credit him for it. You must credit Mr. Kharge. You must credit Shivakumar for the 3 years of dedicated campaign that he has done. And you must credit Sriramulu for hanging in there, with his Ahinda agenda. Everything has come together. And I said before, it is indeed a perfect storm for the non-Congress parties, because Yediyurappa was removed from prime position in the BJP. Mr. Devegowda, because of health reasons, cannot campaign like before. And there was a lackluster government. Everything came together, I think, for this thing to have, this historic thing to happen.
Just on the Bharat Jodo point, I just want to, a lot of Congress people have been tweeting about it. You heard Randeep Surjewala talk about it a moment ago. There were 51 constituencies that Rahul Gandhi traversed. He was there for about 3 weeks, I think in 2 phases. He started from Gudlupet in the south, traversed largely through, Old Mysore, a large chunk of the Old Mysore seats, going all the way through central Karnataka and then eventually exiting through Raichur into Telangana. Out of those 51 seats, the Congress party ended up winning 37. That's a gain of 22 seats. Last time around, they were down to just 15 of these seats. So 37 seats out of those 51. The JDS, the number 2 party in that belt, at 7 seats, down 11. And the BJP lost 11 seats. So essentially, the BJP had 17 seats in this belt last time around. They're down to just single digits. So yes, credit due where credit should be given. And that is that the Bharat Jodo Yatra did have an impact. In those 51 constituencies, Congress won 37 out of those 51.
Yes, Arun.
Yeah, this is about, what set the template.
Yes.
Was it the Bharat Jodo Yatra or anything else? In my view, the template was set much earlier, and that was the 75th birthday celebration of Sriramulu, which happened in Davangere.
Yeah.
Even the Congress leaders didn't expect the kind of, the interest that the people had, the enthusiasm that the people had. They came voluntarily there, and it was a huge show, which the Congress leaders perhaps didn't expect. From then on, they knew that something is happening, something is changing. And then perhaps that gave the imagination for the party people to plan out something like...
Because Davangere is not in Old Mysore. It's not a traditional Congress district, as it were. It's a Lingayat stronghold. It's a BJP stronghold. There, by some estimates, of course, it could be exaggerated because, it was... again, it happened in the middle of Bharat Jodo, by the way. I think the 75th birthday was in December. He was walking through Karnataka in the middle of that. There was this big rally in Davangere, and by some estimates, 10 lakh people turned up for that event. The point, I think the Congress realized quite early in the game that 2 things. One, keep the campaign local and focus on the local leadership. To give them credit, now it might be a different scene altogether now that the results have come. But all through the last 3 months, to give them credit, DK Shivakumar and Sriramulu kept this whole leadership tussle in a very controlled fashion. I think every time you ask them who will be chief minister, they'll say, MLAs will elect. Now, of course, it's a different ballgame altogether.
That push and pull wasn't really visible. They, in fact, also put out those videos where they came across as a very united team, a team which was there to fight and win. I think Sanju Verma is also there of the BJP. We'll try and connect with Sanju in just a bit. But yes, let me bring in T.R. Prasad Gowda of the JDS. This is something that you... Okay, T.R. Prasad Gowda is also not with us. But Kota Nilima continues to be with us. It's a united Congress which managed to send a message that factionalism may be there, but when it is about fighting election, it has to be about Team Congress, which is fighting against a very, well-oiled BJP election winning machine.
Absolutely. And 2 points. Every team has different parts of it. That doesn't mean there's factionalism. Somebody is good at with something, somebody is good at other things. They all came together as a single team to win this. That's 1 point. The second point, what is the BJP election machine? Diversion, communalism. Now, of course, Congress had a very brilliant agenda, but also the voters saw through these divisive tactics for exactly what they are. They are a diversion from the ground realities, from the problems, for which the Congress was aggressively pushing for solutions. Actually, when you look at the Karnataka results, who won or what what caste dynamics beyond that, if you look at it, you see that voters have chosen the Congress or the party which was speaking their language. It was speaking their solution, their lives, and the 5 guarantees.
Yes. So the positive campaign that the Congress ran, that guarantee, Vivek, that reached each and every household, that these are the 5 guarantees, you may call it freebies, as the BJP, tried to play catch up with extra cylinder promises and others, but they realized that those 5 guarantees did resonate with people, and particularly the women.
Exactly. I mean, it has been a very scripted campaign that Congress did, and they went by the script 100%, whether it be DKC and Sriramulu standing together, the videos of them together, all these guarantees that Congress gave, it was all very well scripted, it was very well thought out and well played out. One must also remember of one inflection point which we see here in Karnataka politics. That is the natural justice being played here, the fact that the law of nature is playing out here, the fact that JDS, a strong party in what was earlier known as Old Mysore region, it is wilting. And when one wilts, it becomes fertilizer for the other. The initial part of the wilting, it was BJP which gained. But this time, clearly, it's the Congress which has gained. And that is where DK Shivakumar comes in. He, being a Okaliga, has ensured that that victory is greatly attributed to him. He is telling everybody in and around him and in the central leadership that this is happened mainly because of him. And that's actually true. One of the reasons why he was very clearly always almost throughout with Rahul Gandhi in his Bharat Jodo Yatra is also one of those events which is being counted by the central command. But as we go closer to that photo opportunity that you see on the right of the screen, I don't think this will stand forever. But it has played its part. It has succeeded in taking Congress where it has reached. Because the divisions there are deep. But who is going to be the chief ministerial candidate is not a question at all. It's quite clear that Sriramulu is a pitch.
Zaka has...
No, I said this, honestly, I said this even after I visited both Bangalore and Mysore for the campaigning. And I think it was very clear to me that Sriramulu is a far bigger mass leader. He's a pan-Karnataka leader. There's name and face recall and popularity and almost like a cult-like status, not just in Old Mysore, but also in North Karnataka. I believe the last week he was in Old Mysore, but the weeks before that, he was campaigning in Bidar, Bagalkot, Belgaum, etc. And there was a huge demand for Sriramulu to campaign. But I just want to run you through 2 more filters. When we talk Karnataka, we're always talking the 2 dominant castes. Vivek talked about the Vokaliga vote. This is how the Vokaliga vote split in 2023. Out of the 38 dominant seats, and a large number of them are here in the Old Mysore region, it's the Congress that won 19, a gain of 11. So basically, last time around, they just had 8 seats here. They've gone up to 19. The BJP, no net gain, no net loss. 9 seats they had last time, the same 9 seats they have this time as well. The JDS is down 12. The JDS basically had 21 seats in this belt last time around. They are down 12, and almost all of those gains have gone to the Congress. Just a quick check on how that was in 2018. Vokaliga dominated, the JDS had 21. The Congress was the number 3 party in the 2018 election in a belt which is traditionally a fight between the JDS and the Congress, but this time they've managed to reverse that. That is one dominant caste. The other dominant caste, of course, is the Lingayats, and I think there's a fascinating story here. People were talking about, the Lingayat vote splitting and the Panchamsali reservation issue, so on and so forth. This is a phenomenal statistic. The Congress party cannot ignore this. Out of the 67 Lingayat-dominated seats, the Congress won 42. The BJP had just 20. It's a gain of 22 for the Congress from last time around. And I don't know how you can ignore that, because if you have to go to a comparable situation, the last time the Congress won this many Lingayat seats, you have to go back to 2013 when Yediyurappa split from the BJP. He formed his own party. At that election, the Congress had 40 out of 67. The BJP was down to just 13. So you have to go back all the way 10 years ago. The impact of this whole Lingayat, whether it's the reservation issue or other concerns that the Lingayats have had, the impact of it was similar to Yediyurappa splitting from the BJP in 2013. Even though he was campaigning for the party, even though his son got to contest from Shikaripura, that sort of mantle has been passed on to Vijayendra, somehow the people of the community were not convinced. 42 out of 67 to the Congress, only 20 to the BJP. And I think the moot point here is, I think the Congress will have to accommodate a big Lingayat leader, give a big share of representation to the Lingayats.
And will that be MB Patil? Because that's the indication also coming in from the Congress party. Before I bring in Prakash, Sanju Verma, lots to introspect as far as the BJP is concerned. You know, had it not been for the Prime Minister and his rallies and road shows in Bengaluru, which pulled the BJP up to a decent number of 65, you would have been like really, it would have been the poorest show ever.
Maria, first and foremost, I would like to congratulate the Congress on a very well-scripted and well-deserved victory. And the BJP fights every election to win. So I would be lying if I were to tell you that, I am not disappointed and, 65 is not as bad as the 40 that we scored in 2013 or the 44 that we got in 1999. No, I will not say that. And it's true what Zaka was saying, that the Congress has won in almost every region barring, the Greater Bengaluru and coastal Karnataka areas where BJP did decently. But I have this to say, I have been hopping from one channel to another, and for whatever it is worth, the big question being asked is it an anti-BJP vote and a pro-Congress vote? I will say it is certainly a pro-Congress vote, but it is not an anti-BJP vote for the simple reason that we've managed to stick to a vote share of 35.8 or 36%. I agree that the Congress has seen a 7% jump. But that said, I also would like to add that I think the big catalyst in this election, Maria, has been the fact that the JDS vote share, which came down from 19.5 odd in 2018 to 13.2% this time around, that entire 6 or 6.25% vote share decline in the JDS, that entire thing was capitalized and went to the Congress. I'm not giving excuses. We will obviously go to the drawing board, which we do post every victory and every defeat. But the simple logic also, which I would like to say is, please don't superimpose, please don't juxtapose, and please don't extrapolate the Karnataka 2023 results and say that up to 2024 May, the Modi magic will not work. The law of diminishing returns will come into play, because this is the narrative I have encountered from Congress spokespersons since morning. That is not the case. And I will just say, while we do know that Karnataka votes in separate directions in an assembly election and then in a Lok Sabha election, the most important point is that even in 2019, if you recall, just prior to 2019, not only did we lose Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh and we were written off, but I remember we lost 3 very important by-elections in Uttar Pradesh, Phulpur, Kairana and Gorakhpur. And, 2019 was a Modi tsunami. So my limited point is, while we need to introspect, the fact of the matter is, you cannot win 2024 without having Uttar Pradesh in your kitty. And for Sriramulu to say...
yes, and if we go with the statistics, that is also a correct interpretation.
Maria, just 10 seconds more.
Okay.
Maria, just 10 seconds more. Because the Congress spokesperson made many points. Sriramulu coming in his victory speech and giving a clarion call and saying Rahul Gandhi will be the PM in 2024 is a whole lot of hogwash, because between 2021 and 2023, out of 56 elections, if 50 elections are lost by Rahul Gandhi and one swallow does not make a summer, you are saying Karnataka can
Fine, T.S. Prasad Gowda. Because there is a third player as well here. T.S. Prasad Gowda, it is becoming increasingly clear that the mention of Bajrang Dal, banning of Bajrang Dal was part of a Congress party's strategy. That it led to a consolidation, particularly of the Muslims, and it also meant that it became a bipolar contest. JDS increasingly is shrinking, and in 2024 it could very well face an existential crisis. Mr. Gowda.
Politics is all about sometimes, though we have worked very hard and traveled across the state with clean hands, and we have trying to reach each and every common person across the state, and with our programs, but still people of North and South Karnataka proved that they are not with us. But we will have to accept the verdict given by the people. But you told, as far as you told about the existence part, for our party, this is not new. We have faced this kind of problems, this kind of situations in the past also. There were situations we won only 2 seats, and next assembly elections we have come out like
Mr.
anything,
Gowda,
like by winning.
this has been perhaps the worst ever performance, Zaka, of the...
In an assembly election since I think 1994, this has been the worst performance of the JDS. I think the issue, Mr. Gowda, if I may, just in 10 seconds, it's not just the number of seats. You know, even in your strongholds in the Old Mysore region, a bulk of your seats have come from just one district, Hassan. You've got a couple from Greater Mysore. You've got 2 seats from Kolar, which is again outside of Old Mysore. And then a splattering of seats in North Karnataka. It's not so much the loss of the seats as much as of vote share. Your vote share has been halved in the last 10, 12 years. I think that is the problem. Half the number of people who used to back you 10 or 15 years ago are backing you today. And I think that is a problem. That is the sign of a declining party.
And will it be fair to say then, B.S. Arun, that this, fall of JDS is, of course, what was a triangular contest became a bipolar contest. But when did that shift actually happen in the elections?
I think one of the main reasons had been, intra-party, intra-family problems. The differences between the 2 brothers, Kumaraswamy and Revana, went on and on and on for weeks. I think the people really became, even their supporters, I think became fatigued over this, and they must have lost their supporters, and that was, I think, one of the reasons. And then, taking up the issues which were, not really of much help to them. I think that was another reason that saw the
even in the Hassan seat, where there was this fight between Bhavani Revana and Swaroop, Kumaraswamy backing Swaroop and Revana backing his wife, obviously, it's Swaroop who won. So Kumaraswamy's prevailed there. It's a bittersweet day for him because Kumaraswamy won his seat of Channapatna. He beat C.P. Yogeshwar of the BJP. But the neighbouring constituency, his son, Nikhil Kumaraswamy, and by the way, this is the second big election he's losing. He lost, I think, the Lok Sabha to Sumalata
election also.
Yeah, this is the second assembly election as well that he's lost.
Second
election. So first Lok Sabha in 2019 where he lost to Sumalata. And then now he's lost this assembly segment of Ramnagara. I'm not sure, I mean, how far he's got a political career after this, because ultimately people are going to talk about this. They are going to talk about it.
He's the youth Janata Dal president also.
So now, is JDS going the BSP way?
See, the important idea in that question is, traditionally, if a national party, now the Congress typically, if it loses its votes to a regional player, it doesn't get it back. That's what has happened traditionally. This election is astonishing because it's claimed it back. I want to make a point about the Lingayat votes. When you look, I know that saying, don't compare the national elections, the general elections with this, but I'm saying they had a 12% lead in the Lok Sabha elections. And now they have a 7% difference here. That's a 19% swing. And, it's an astonishing number of people who voted for the Congress now.
The other way.
And it will indeed be many Lingayats as well. But here is the question on that. See, if BJP gets 36%, even if it lost somewhere, it has gained somewhere. Who are the extra voters that came and made up that 36? So I don't know how much of the Lingayat vote actually left. I think it needs to be tempered with that question in mind. I will say something else that, about what you asked. What happened to BSP or what happened to JDS could be the same, that the national issues are slowly begin to do, if you do a Venn diagram, you will see that there's a there's overlaps to these things now. And I think people actually are completely clear about what they want in an election. And it comes because however much we abuse and talk about media, it comes from this kind of graphical analysis, detailed discussion and focus that you bring on elections. People are aware of many issues and everybody is well informed.
Narrative setting, as they call it.
Yeah.
In Zaka, in addition to what Prakash has been saying, this is in addition to the Lingayat votes. Lingayat votes got divided here and Congress got the benefit of that. Now at the same time, the SCs and the STs in Karnataka in 2018, they went with BJP. But in these elections, it shows that maybe in droves, they came back to Congress, which was one of their main sources of support over the last so many decades.
Oh, absolutely. I think we showed that in the morning as well. We'll show that again. But Maria, I think, is ready with a Stipe graphic, and then we'll come back to the Dalit seats as well as the tribal seats.
Yes, Zaka, because we'll be shifting focus to that 136 for the Congress party. Here's a SWOT analysis of the contenders. Is it decided that it will be Mr. Sriramulu because he is, of course, a pan-Karnataka face? Here is DK Shivakumar. What works for him? What is his strength? He is seen as a master strategist, someone who is visibly the troubleshooter for the Congress. The Congress High Command often ropes him in whenever there is a crisis in other states. The weakness, though, for Mr. DK Shivakumar is that he faces several corruption allegations. He has also spent some time in jail because of those corruption charges against him. But opportunity. He has edged out JDS completely in that old Mysuru belt of JDS because he has managed to move that constituency of the Vokaligas towards the Congress. The threat or the big challenge going ahead is that there is visible one-upmanship battle between him and Sriramulu. Although they tried very hard to not put that on the surface in these elections, but that tension is visible. Sriramulu, Zaka says that he is almost that cult which is similar to Lalu Yadav in my home state of Bihar. The strength is that he is the tallest leader of the Congress party in the state of Karnataka. The weakness, though, is that age may not be on his side. By the time he completes his tenure as the chief minister, he would be 80 years old. The opportunity, whether he will be able to keep this momentum, translate 136 seats into the number of seats also in the Lok Sabha in 2024. Of course, the threat constantly is DK Shivakumar as KPCC chief, constantly needling him or perhaps interfering in the governance matter. Here is G. Parmeshwara, someone just before the results had thrown his hat into the ring, saying clearly that he is also a contender. Look at me favorably. That was a message to the Congress High Command. He is the former Deputy Chief Minister. He lacks mass base. He doesn't have that appeal, can't really enthuse cadre much. So that is his weakness. The opportunity certainly is because in these elections, the Congress has managed a vote shift of the Dalits as well. So he is the Dalit face. Will Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge be projecting him in that formula that is likely to be worked out of one chief minister and possible Lingayat Vokaliga and a Dalit deputy chief ministers? So the threat certainly is that there is a friction with popular leaders in party. But Zaka, you know, when we are looking at various constituencies, we have discussed the Lingayats, the Vokaligas. Let's talk about the SCs.
Oh, absolutely. I think 100% right. I think the other big shift that's happened in this election is the Dalit vote. Traditionally, you know, in Karnataka, funny sort of analogy, there's the SC left, which votes for the BJP, and there's the SC right, which votes for the Congress. It should be the other way around, one would imagine. But anyway, be that as it may, just take a look at the SC reserve seats in Karnataka. In 2023, the Congress has won 21 out of the 36 SC reserve seats, a gain of 9. The BJP won only 12. That's a loss of 4. You go back and check in 2018 how that picture played. It was the BJP which had more than the Congress. In fact, despite having a lower vote share, about a 5% less vote share, because the BJP's strike rate, its conversion was better, it got 16 out of the 36, the Congress managing just 12. But in 2023, the Congress has managed to flip that, and it's pan-Karnataka. There are some in the south, there are some in the coastal belt, there are certainly some seats in the central part, and of course, in Hyderabad, Karnataka, you do have a bunch of Dalit-dominant seats, all of which the Congress seems to have done better in. The other one, of course, is the ST reserve seats, and there's a even more phenomenal story. This is, of course, concentrated in that Bellary, Yadgir, Raichur, that belt. Look at this. This is an unbelievable sort of statistic or figure. Out of the 15 ST reserve seats, 14 of them have gone to the Congress. 14, that's a strike rate of 95%. 14 out of 15 seats have gone. That is gain of 6. the BJP has not won a single ST reserved seat, including, some giants like Sriramulu have been felled in this election. And I think one of it has to do with this whole reservation business for the ST community. Particularly, I think the Banjara community, there was some major issue around that.
As soon as it was announced, they went and threw stones at Yediyurappa's house in Shivakumar. Yeah, that happened. See, you look at that. If you had put percentages on that, you would see whether this thing about conversion of votes into seats went wrong. Maybe it was just that also. I'm saying I don't understand it. This is something that needs to be studied. It's a big one.
All right, I think DK Shivakumar is about to speak. He's the KPCC president, one of the two men of the moment, as I put it. But let's listen in to what he has to say.
Hey, Sunil. ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಪೂಜೆ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಪಕ್ಷದ ಪೂಜೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್. AICC ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷ ಅಂತ ಮಲ್ಲಿಕಾರ್ಜುನ್ ಖರ್ಗೆ ಸಾಹೇಬ್ರೆ, ಶಾಸಕಾಂಗ ಪಕ್ಷದ ನಾಯಕರಾದಂತ ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯ ಸಾಹೇಬ್ರೆ, AICC ಜನರಲ್ ಸೆಕ್ರೆಟರಿ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ವೇಣುಗೋಪಾಲ್ ಸಾಹೇಬ್ರೆ, ನಮ್ಮ AICC ಜನರಲ್ ಸೆಕ್ರೆಟರಿ ಇನ್ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಸುಜ್ವಾಲ ಸಾಹೇಬ್ರೆ, ಹರಿಪ್ರಸಾದ್ ಅವರೇ, ನಮ್ಮ ವಿರೋಧ ಪಕ್ಷದ ನಾಯಕರು, ಎಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಾರ್ಯಾಧ್ಯಕ್ಷಗಳು, ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮ AICC ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಇನ್ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಆಲ್ ಸೆಕ್ರೆಟರೀಸ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಆಂಧ್ರ ಪ್ರದೇಶದಿಂದ ಕೂಡ ನಮ್ಮ ಕ್ಯಾಂಪೇನ್ ಕಮಿಟಿ ಚೇರ್ಮನ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಧ್ಯಮದ ಮಿತ್ರರೇ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಮುಖಂಡರುಗಳೇ, ಕಾರ್ಯಕರ್ತರೇ, DK ಸುರೇಶ್ ಅವರು ಕೂಡ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇನ್ನು ಎಲ್ಲದನ್ನೂ ಹೆಸರು ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಬೇಡ. ಈಗ ಇದು ಮಾಧ್ಯಮ ಗೋಷ್ಠಿ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕರೆದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಡಿಲೇ ಆಯ್ತು, ತಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಕ್ಷಮಿಸಬೇಕು. ಇದು ಭಾರತ್ ಜೋಡೋ ಭವನ, ಇಂದಿರಾ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಅವರ ಭವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾರತ್ ಜೋಡೋ ಆಡಿಟೋರಿಯಂ. ಈ ಚುನಾವಣೆ ಭಾರತವನ್ನ ಜೋಡೋ ಮಾಡುವಂತ ಚುನಾವಣೆ ಆಗಿ ಫಲಿತಾಂಶ ಹೊರ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಈ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಬಯಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ಇದು ನಮ್ಮ ಗೆಲುವಲ್ಲ, ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯ ಗೆಲುವಲ್ಲ, ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಇರೋರ ಗೆಲುವಲ್ಲ, ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಜನತೆಯ ಗೆಲುವಿದೆ. ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಿಂದ 3 ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ಹಿಡಿದಿದ್ದಂತ ಗ್ರಹಣನ ಇಂದು ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ. ಜನರು ಹಾಕಿದ್ದಂತ ಕಣ್ಣೀರನ್ನ ಇವತ್ತು ಒರೆಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಜನರ ಮುಖದಲ್ಲಿ ನಗು ಅರಳುತ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಈ ಗ್ರಹಣ ಬಿಡಿಸಿದಂತ ರಾಜ್ಯ ಜನತೆಗೆ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಪಕ್ಷದ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಮತ್ತು ವೈಯಕ್ತಿಕವಾಗಿ ನಾನು ಈ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಭಿನಂದನೆಯನ್ನ, ಹೃದಯಪೂರ್ವಕವಾದಂತ ಅಭಿನಂದನೆ ಸಲ್ಲಿಸಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಬಯಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ಇದೇ ರೀತಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಗೆಲುವಿಗೆ ಮಾರ್ಗದರ್ಶನ ಮಾಡಿ ಕಾರಣಕರ್ತರಂತ ನಮ್ಮ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷರಂತ ಮಲ್ಲಿಕಾರ್ಜುನ್ ಖರ್ಗೆ ಸಾಹೇಬರಿಗೆ, ಸೋನಿಯಾ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಮೇಡಮ್ ರವರಿಗೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ನಾಯಕರಂತ ರಾಹುಲ್ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ, ಪ್ರಿಯಾಂಕಾ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ, ವೇಣುಗೋಪಾಲ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ, ಸುಜ್ವಾಲ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಮತ್ತು ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಾರ್ಯದರ್ಶಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಬಂದು ನಾನು ಅಭಿನಂದಿಸ್ತೇನೆ. ಇದು ಬರೀ ಗೆಲುವು, 40% ಬೆಲೆ ಏರಿಕೆ ವಿರುದ್ಧ ಗೆಲುವು, ಬಿಜೆಪಿ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ರೈತರಿಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟ ಕಷ್ಟಗಳ ವಿರುದ್ಧ ಗೆಲುವು, ಗೃಹಿಣಿಯರ ಕಣ್ಣೀರ ವಿರುದ್ಧ ಇದು ಗೆಲುವು, ಯುವ ಸಮುದಾಯ ನಿರುದ್ಯೋಗ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆ ವಿರುದ್ಧ ಗೆಲುವು, ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ನ ಗ್ಯಾರಂಟಿಯ ಗೆಲುವು. ಇನ್ನು ಮುಂದೆ ಬೆಳಗಲಿದೆ. ಖರ್ಗೆ ಸಾಹೇಬರು, ಸೋನಿಯಾ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಅವರು, ರಾಹುಲ್ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಅವರು, ಪ್ರಿಯಾಂಕಾ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಅವರು ನಮಗೆ ದೀಕ್ಷೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರೇ ಬಂದು ಕೆಲವು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಗಳನ್ನ ಬಿಡುಗಡೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂದೇಶ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇನ್ನು ಮುಂದಕ್ಕೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಬಂದ ಗೃಹಲಕ್ಷ್ಮಿ ಇದೇ ಒಂದು ವಿಶೇಷವಾದಂತಹ ಯುವ ನಿಧಿ ಯುವ ಸಮುದಾಯಕ್ಕೆ ಆತ್ಮವಿಶ್ವಾಸ ಕೂಡ ತುಂಬಲಿದೆ. ಬಡವರ ಅನ್ನಭಾಗ್ಯ ಕೂಡ ಅವರ ಹೊಟ್ಟೆ ತುಂಬಲಿದೆ. ಮಹಿಳೆಯರ ಸುಖಿಯರಿಗೂ ಬಸ್ ಪ್ರಯಾಣ ಮಾಡಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅಂಗನವಾಡಿ ಆಶಾ ಕಾರ್ಯಕರ್ತರ ನೆಮ್ಮದಿಯಿಂದ ನಿಟ್ಟುಸಿರನ್ನ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಅದರಿಂದ ಈಗಲೇ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ದಂಗೆ ಈ 5 ಗ್ಯಾರಂಟಿ ನಾನು ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯನವರು ಮೈಸೂರಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ನಾಡ ದೇವತೆ ತಾಯಿ ಚಾಮುಂಡೇಶ್ವರ ಸನ್ನಿಧಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಣಾಳಿಕೆ ಅಂಶಗಳನ್ನ ಜಾರಿಗೆ ಬದ್ಧ ಎಂದು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಅದನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ಮಾತನ್ನ ಇವತ್ತು ಮತ್ತೆ ನಾನು ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಜನರ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಪಕ್ಷದ ಪರವಾಗಿ ತೀರ್ಪನ್ನ ಮತ್ತೊಮ್ಮೆ ನಾನು ಎಲ್ಲ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಜನತೆಗೆ ನನ್ನ ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ ವಿರುದ್ಧನೋ ಒಳ್ಳೇದೋ ಕೆಟ್ಟದ್ದೋ ಬೇಕಾದಷ್ಟು ಬರೆದಿದ್ವಿ. ಮಾರ್ಚ್ 10ನೇ ತಾರೀಕು ಇದೇ ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿಯನ್ನ ಶ್ರೀಮತಿ ಸೋನಿಯಾ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಅವರು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವತ್ತಿಂದ ಇವತ್ತರೆಗೂ ನಾನೆಲ್ಲ ನಾಯಕರುಗಳು, ಕಾರ್ಯಕರ್ತರು, ಶಾಸಕರು, ವಿರೋಧ ಪಕ್ಷದ ನಾಯಕರಾದಿಯಾಗಿ, ಖರ್ಗೆ ಸಾಹೇಬರಾದಿಯಾಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ ಜೊತೆಯಾಗಿ ನನಗೆ ಸಹಕಾರವನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಈ ಮಟ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಮಾತು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೆ. ಶ್ರೀಮತಿ ಸೋನಿಯಾ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಮಾಡಿ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದ ನನಗೆ ಸಮರ್ಪಿಸ್ತೇವೆ. ಇವತ್ತು ನನಗೆ ಆ ಋಣವನ್ನ ತೀರಿಸುವಂತ ಒಂದು ಭಾಗ್ಯ ನನಗೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದೆ. ಅದರಿಂದ ಇವತ್ತು ನಾವು ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಸೇರಿ ತಾಳ್ಮೆಯಿಂದ ಸೇರಿ ಜನ ಏನು ನಮ್ಮ ಮೇಲೆ ನಂಬಿಕೆ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಪಡಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಆ ನಂಬಿಕೆಯನ್ನ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾವು ಸಾಯಂಕಾಲ ನಮ್ಮ ಶಾಸಕಾಂಗ ಪಕ್ಷದ ಸಭೆಯನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕರೆದಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವೇನು ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಪಕ್ಷ ನಮ್ಮ ಏನೋ ಪದ್ಧತಿ ಇದೆ ಆ ಪದ್ಧತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಿಕ್ಕಿದ ನಮ್ಮ ಪಕ್ಷದ ವರಿಷ್ಠರಿಗೆ ಮಿಕ್ಕಿದ ವಿಚಾರವನ್ನು ಬಿಡ್ತೇವೆ. ಸೊ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಧ್ಯಮ ಬಿಡ್ತರು ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ನೀವು ಏನೇನೋ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಏನೇನೋ ಬರೆಯಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾವ ಹೇಳಿಕೆಗೂ ಯಾರ ಹೇಳಿಕೆ ಕೂಡ ನಾನು ನಿರ್ಬಂಧವನ್ನು ಹಾಕ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ.
Tomorrow we will be calling the legislative meeting where all the legislators will be invited, where there will be a discussion that has been our regular culture as well of the party to speak to them
the success of all of you
and make some decision regarding the party.
Worker as supporters, and victory belongs to everyone from the national level to the taluka level. I thank everyone for this great opportunity. Evening, 5 o'clock.
Thank you, Shivakumar ji. Let me, as Shivakumar ji has said, with permission of Congress President, we have called the first meeting of the Congress Legislature Party tomorrow at 5:30 in the evening. And currently information is being sent to all the legislators. We will also inform the venue to all friends of the media. I also want to take this opportunity to thank nearly 150 to 200 leaders, general secretaries, MPs, ex-MPs, senior former union ministers and others who also came and worked alongside the workers and leaders of Karnataka in different constituencies. I now request...
You heard there from DK Shivakumar, the KPCC chief. You'll hear in a moment from, of course, Sriramulu, the CLP leader. And the meeting has been called for 5:30 tomorrow, the Congress Legislature Party meeting, in which they will have to decide which of these two gentlemen goes on to become the next Chief Minister of Karnataka. Maybe we can listen in for a couple of minutes to Sriramulu and then we'll come back after that.
ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷರಾದಂಥ ಮಾನ್ಯ ಮಲ್ಲಿಕಾರ್ಜುನ ಖರ್ಗೆ ಅವರೇ, AICC ಪ್ರಧಾನ ಕಾರ್ಯದರ್ಶಿಗಳಾದಂಥ ಶ್ರೀ ವೇಣುಗೋಪಾಲ್ ಅವರೇ, ರಣದೀಪ್ ಸಿಂಗ್ ಸುರ್ಜೇವಾಲಾ ಅವರೇ, ಪ್ರದೇಶ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಸಮಿತಿಯ ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷರಾದಂಥ DK ಶಿವಕುಮಾರ್ ಅವರೇ, ವಿಧಾನ ಪರಿಷತ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ವಿರೋಧ ಪಕ್ಷದ ನಾಯಕರಾದಂಥ ಶ್ರೀ ಹರಿಪ್ರಸಾದ್ ಅವರೇ, AICC ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಾರ್ಯದರ್ಶಿಗಳೇ, ಕಾರ್ಯಾಧ್ಯಕ್ಷರೇ, ಇತರ ಎಲ್ಲ ವೇದಿಕೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸ್ನೇಹಿತರೆ, ಮಾಧ್ಯಮದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಗೆಳೆಯರೇ,
ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಪಕ್ಷದ ಮುಖಂಡರೇ, ಕಾರ್ಯಕರ್ತ ಬಂಧುಗಳೇ, ಮಾನ್ಯ ಖರ್ಗೆ ಅವರು ಜನರು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ತೀರ್ಪಿನ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಬಹಳ ಸುದೀರ್ಘವಾಗಿ ಮಾತನಾಡಿದರು. ಅವರು ಮತ್ತು ಡಿ.ಕೆ. ಶಿವಕುಮಾರ್ ಅವರು ಹೇಳಿದಂತೆ, ಸುರ್ಜೇವಾಲಾ ಅವರು ಹೇಳಿದಂತೆ, ಇದು 7 ಕೋಟಿ ಕನ್ನಡಿಗರ ಗೆಲುವು. ಇದು
This is the victory of 7 crore Kannadigas.
ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಪಕ್ಷದ ಗೆಲುವು ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಪಕ್ಷದ ಕಾರ್ಯಕರ್ತರ ಗೆಲುವು ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಅಲ್ಲ, 7 ಕೋಟಿ ಕನ್ನಡಿಗರ ಗೆಲುವು. ಭಾರತೀಯ ಜನತಾ ಪಕ್ಷ ಅವರು ಅಧಿಕಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಾಗ ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ಕೂಡ ಜನರ ಆಶೀರ್ವಾದ ಪಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅಧಿಕಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದವರಲ್ಲ. 2008
Karnataka people have blessed us with a victory.
ಆಪರೇಷನ್ ಕಮಲದ ಮೂಲಕ ಅಧಿಕಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದವರು.
This is the victory against the Operation Kamala.
ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವಾಗ ಅತಂತ್ರ ವಿಧಾನಸಭೆ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಂದರ್ಭಗಳಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ, ಆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ.
All right, you're hearing from Sriramulu, the Congress Legislature Party leader. You heard a moment ago from D.K. Shivakumar, the Congress president in Karnataka state. And is it going to be either of these two men who will lead Karnataka and lead the government in Karnataka as chief minister for the next 5 years? Or will there be a surprise candidate? So we're opening this up to our guests who are joining us here in our studios. Mahima Singh of the Congress is also here in our studios. Maria Shakil, our political editor, is there in our studios as well. We have Nistula Hebar, the political editor of the Hindu newspaper, and Nalin Mehta, our own consulting editor here at CNN News18, joining us. Mahima, let me start with you. This is a phenomenal victory. Give credit where it's due. I think it's unbelievable. The extent of the victory. Yes, everyone was predicting the direction of the victory, that the Congress has its nose ahead and so on and so forth. But 136 is even bigger than S.N. Krishna's win in 1999. In fact, if you want to go back to a figure above 136, you have to go all the way back to 1989 and Virendra Patil's election of 178. So the magnitude of this victory is something phenomenal.
Good evening all. It has to be remembered that this is the first election result after the Bharat Jodo Yatra, and of course it is the people's issues that were at the core of our campaign. On one side there was the BJP that was threatening the people of Karnataka that they will not get the blessings of Mr. Modi if they do not vote for the BJP, and on the other side there was Mr. Rahul Gandhi, Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge doing the Man Ki Baat. Of course, there was an immense attempt to turn this into another election of hate and divide. But you see, Mohabbat Ki Dukaan has been opened today and rather, as Pawan Khera ji has said, it's the Mohabbat Ka showroom, not only Mohabbat Ki Dukaan, because Mohabbat Ki Dukaan was opened at Himachal. Okay. So this is the people's victory. This is, of course, truly people's mandate. And I think we are going to accept this with humility and going to deliver with utmost sincerity and seriousness.
Maria?
Yes. So the point that has been made here, did the template actually begin? I can see Priyank. Congratulations, Priyank. And if you can hear me.
Yeah, thank you. I can hear you crystal clear.
Yes. So what a number, 136.
Well, like my colleagues earlier said, the Pradhan Mantri did Man Ki Baat and we did Jan Ki Baat. और जन की जीत, लोगों की जीत हुई, आवाम की जीत हुई, जनता जनार्दन की जीत हुई, and that's the reason why we have got this tremendous victory.
And just about everything worked for the Congress party. Was the template laid during Rahul Gandhi's, Bharat Jodo, or are you of the opinion that it was the local leaders, the local issues that played it, that worked for you?
Everything came together. In fact, if you saw our campaigns of Pay CM and Kivi Mele Hua and all the other campaigns, and also the Bharat Jodo issues that were spoken were Jan Ki Baat issues, no? It spoke about economic disparity. It spoke about unemployment. Bharat Jodo spoke about constitutional values. It spoke about price rise. That is what was Jan Ki Baat. And that's how we based our narratives on. And it struck a chord with people. The 5 guarantees that we have given also are on based on similar lines. And I think it resonated well with people, and they have blessed us.
Are you one of those who will say that what played out like a united Congress will also be seen post-elections, or will there be tussle for power?
Absolutely. I have complete confidence in my colleagues, and we have won. We have got this victory. It's been a hard-fought battle, and nothing is going to take this away from us. We are united. We will remain united. We have pledged for a better Karnataka. We have pledged to give great governance to Karnataka, and we will administer Karnataka much better than what the BJP has done.
No, but overall, if you look at the shift, the Lingayats have voted for you. There is a shift in the Vokaligas as well, and also in the SCs. So will you be saying that all of them should be represented in some way in the government?
Look, if you have a look at all our...
Yes, Priyank.
It does not matter whether this election they did it, they did or they did not do. We have always ensured that every community is represented, even if it's a microscopic one. So, Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas actually happens only in Congress.
So, but Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas will also be about power sharing.
See, it's about representation and representation for better administration.
And among the SCs, you know, because...
And we will ensure that.
And was there a generational shift as well? So that is the reason why, you know, you would want to be present in the cabinet? Are you one of those who will also say that why not a new face in the cabinet?
Right now, that is not on our mind, who's going to be in the cabinet. The High Command, and whereas the local leaders are very clear that first we need to ensure that we need a roadmap to administer Karnataka better and deliver the 5 guarantees that we have promised. The High Command will decide.
The High Command will decide, Zaka, but the SCs having voted for...
I mean, they have a strike rate of like 67%. 2 out of 3 reserved constituencies for Dalits has been won by the Congress party. We've lost the link with Priyank, but, you know, this is not publicly known, but the Kharge family was going through an intense period of a health crisis all through this campaign, but they kept it very private. And you know a campaign, Maria. I mean, it's difficult, the rough and tumble and the heat and dust. To be able to do that along with this health crisis that their family was going through, I think is incredible. Priyank doesn't want to say it, but I'm sure he's one of the front runners to be a cabinet minister in the upcoming Congress government. But I think, you know, not just the Vokaligas and the Lingayats, we've been pointing this out, the kind of strike rate the Congress has had. Yeah, Priyank's line is back. Priyank, I know you don't like to talk about it much, but this has been a tough period also for your family, and yet to keep it together and campaign so hard, 15, 16-hour days, surely it must be feeling fulfilling, and that to see, you know, that part of Karnataka that you come from, the Raichur, Bidar, Gulbarga belt, the Congress is swept in the North Karnataka belt. That must be particularly satisfying.
It is indeed satisfying to see that we have a high strike rate in our region. Besides that, what is even more satisfying that the constitutional values have won in Karnataka, progressive ideas have won in Karnataka. People have voted for peace, harmony and prosperity rather than divisive politics. So that's what is more heartening and satisfying.
All right. We also have Sumalata, actor, Lok Sabha Member of Parliament, who is, of course, backed by the BJP. Thank you very much, ma'am, for speaking with us. One of the interesting things, the place that you come from Mandya, you know, it has always been a JDS versus Congress kind of a battle. Last time, I think in Mandya district, JDS swept all seats. This time, the Congress has clawed back about 3 out of the 7. And the JDS seems to have lost a lot of ground compared to last time around. What do you make of the results in Mandya district and, of course, in the wider Old Mysore region?
Actually, last time it was a total sweep for JDS in my constituency. Like my Lok Sabha constituency has about 8 assembly constituencies, and all of them were held by JDS at that point of time when I won my election. So now today it's a reverse, it seems to be a reverse sweep, where JDS has lost all of them except one, and Congress has gained those seats. So you can see it's like a strong mandate against the incumbent JDS MLAs in my constituency where I come from. It's like a total what you call decimation of the JDS party in my region.
All right, we also have TS Singh Dio from Chhattisgarh. I'll also get a word in from him. Mr. Dio, this must be a particularly satisfying day and a moment for you because the Congress has not won a big state in a very long time. You have to go all the way back to 2018 when it won Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh for a big state to have been won by the Congress. So it must be particularly satisfying that it's come after what, 5 years now?
Good evening to you. Good evening to all the panelists, and congratulations to Priyank. And I hope he'll convey wedding anniversary greetings to his father and mother too. And good evening to all the viewers. Certainly a satisfying moment today. The Karnataka results, we've all been trying to follow it from a distance. And I was in the 100 to 130 seats bracket for the Congress. So it has surpassed that with so many issues current there, right from hijab to the Muslim reservation issue, to Hanumanji, the Bajrang Dal matter, BJP strong in the coastal areas, northern areas, JDS strong in the old Mysuru area. What eventually would happen was difficult to say, very difficult to say. But whatever we were hearing from the media over the past few months, over the year or so, was that there was a lot of misgovernance there. Bengaluru is, for us, one of the best managed cities in the country. One of the cities with the best climate, with the best, maybe the best togetherness. People from all over the country reside in Bengaluru. And we heard very little before these past few months and years.
You know, there is one sense
social
that perhaps now the Congress has a template. This is about those guarantees or freebies, something that worked in Himachal has yielded a government in the state of Karnataka. Will that be repeated in Chhattisgarh in the next few months because you have elections coming?
Chhattisgarh had its manifesto, ma'am, and we are trying to go by it, and implement as many of its 36 major points, 200 minor points inclusive. So we had set up a big target to achieve. We have achieved more than half, 60%, 70%, and there is always more to do. Chhattisgarh I see as safe for the Congress.
Okay.
How many seats we get is hazardous to venture at this moment, but there should be a clear majority for the Congress and Chhattisgarh. It has been performing. We have been trying to live up to our promises and expectations. So Karnataka will be a shot in the arm of a party which was already a little ahead. We should not be complacent. There's never ground for complacency in politics or life. But Congress is ahead.
Okay, Ms. Sumanlata, do you think the BJP campaign did not work because it was more national in nature, nationalist issues, rather than looking at the localized election in which that was how the Congress fought these elections, keeping it very, very local?
This has been the BJP strategy.
See, the campaign by Congress was very effective this time. We have to give them that today. I mean, they campaigned aggressively, but the main crux of the matter is BJP's campaign was based on more solid and realistic promises. That's how I see it. Whereas Congress has promised the moon, the stars and the universe. Now it's left to see how they go on upon delivering that. That's a big challenge for any government. Otherwise, each party would be easily promising every constituency the same. Why they don't do that is they know that it's not that easy to deliver on these promises.
I just wanted to ask her one question.
We have to
ma'am, you can, this whole freebies versus Revidi, that debate has been going on for a while. I do want to ask you specifically about the belt that you come from. The BJP has been trying desperately to make inroads into this Vokaliga belt. And yet, even in this election, it's a number 3 party, a very distant number 3 party. Why is it not able to break through in that region, Hassan, Mysore, Mandya, that belt?
Well, see, unfortunately, as long as we have elections fought on religion and caste and community-wise, it is difficult to surmount these challenges where, you know, one party is looked upon as, you know, the Lingayat party, and the other party is looked upon as the Vokaliga party. But I think this time, beyond that, the voter has also, there has been a domino effect of several issues which have led to this. It's not just because of one reason or the other. I see this as a build-up of so many factors that you know, have gone into these past 5 years, and BJP has borne the brunt of it in these elections. But they have made solid promises, realistic promises, sober promises, and versus the, you know, like a potboiler masala movie promises.
Okay, so that's for you.
I think sometimes
Mahima, you have to respond to that potboiler masala promises that you have made. Unbelievable.
Let me just say.
You can't deliver those promises. That's the charge.
Well, the tabs, the scooties, the cylinders that were promised by the BJP, although I felt that the co-panelist, very respectfully I'd say, I thought that she's an independent MLA, but I see that she has a soft corner for the BJP. But the BJP had promised, you know, freebies like cylinders, scooties, tabs. Mr. Rajnath Singh in 2022, in UP, he said, you know, you'll be getting those cylinders, which never happened. And we know about the realities of Ujjwala. We know that today a massive chunk of a poor person's monthly income goes into buying a cylinder, and then the health support and everything else. How they educate their children is another task to be looked into. So when you talk about the freebies, I think what we have promised is very well strategized. We have promised free electricity units. We have promised Yuva Nidhi, which is minimum support to the graduates and to the diploma holders. We have promised minimum income to the ladies of the house. And let me just say, we have done that. In Rajasthan, we are giving a cylinder for 500. We have delivered an old pension scheme in Himachal. We are already working on giving that minimum income support to women in Himachal, because Congress works with strategy. We do not promise for the heck of it.
Okay, so let's see what really worked for the Congress. Because if the Congress worked with a strategy, that strategy perhaps began during the Bharat Jodo, and eventually everything fell in place, including that plan of even a ban on Bajrang Dal. So what really worked for the Congress? A victory of 136, historic one certainly. That social broad basing of the Congress vote bank. There is Lingayat shift, as Zaka was pointing out. Overall 37 Lingayat MLAs in that list of 136. There is a substantive number of Dalits shift as well that is visible. Muslims in old Mysuru belt, all of them moving away from the JDS to the Congress party. The Congress kept this election extremely local. There were local leaders focusing on local issues, talking about basics. It was about back to basics for the Congress party. They did not want to talk about Adani issue. Rahul Gandhi was in fact told very clearly by the local Congress leaders, keep that rhetoric in Delhi when you're campaigning in Karnataka. The message was of a united leadership, that Sriramulu and DK Shivakumar must come across as leaders who can iron out their differences for the sake of the party and for the larger good of the party. There was freebie galore, as Mahima was also talking about it. Did that actually lead to a shift of the women voters? The women constituency so far firmly with the BJP decided to experiment. They realized that they can get the best of both the worlds. They can get what the Congress was promising, the 2,000 rupees, and they can continue to get what the centre was giving to them in form of the toilets, the various yojanas, including the homes. So the big question then is, of course, this Bajrang Bali gambit that we have been saying, this led to the consolidation of the Muslim votes. The Congress wanted the JDS completely out of this picture. in those constituencies, they wanted to ensure that the Muslims look at them as the only party which can take on the BJP, the triangular contest becoming a bipolar contest. Zaka, coming specifically to this shift or consolidation of the Muslims.
I think, all right, we have this unity shot, sweets now being given by Mr. Kharge to Mr. Sriramulu. He's diabetic, by the way, and his son Yatindra is a doctor. He's very paranoid about, controlling his dad's sugar. In fact, the day that I was trailing Mr. Sriramulu in his campaign, he has a device, a monitor that's there on his arm. And I think every 2 or 3 hours, he has to send a message to his son, his doctor son, saying that this is what my sugar levels are. So I'm not sure how many sweets he's had today. But I think clearly it is a message of unity, no doubt about it. And I think Mr. Kharge, because of his national stature now as AICC president, he will be called upon to be this unifier, pacifier, if at all personal ambitions of these two gentlemen come in the way. It's Sriramulu and DK Shivakumar. The CLP meeting will happen tomorrow. I also want to get Nistula Hebbard to weigh in on not just these pictures. You can see those, I don't know if you can see those pictures, Mr. Kharge giving sweets to all the leaders of the Congress there, and they've toiled pretty hard, no doubt, over the last 3 months or so. They have worked really hard to get to this position. But Nistula, what is the standout for you in this election? Because I keep coming back to that. The figure of 136 is even bigger than what SM Krishna won in 1999.
Right. So when I went to Karnataka, the first story that I actually wrote from there was that this was supposed to be a transformative election. Every party was saying that they are just going to strike out of their comfort zone and get the other guy's vote. And all three parties had devised some sort of a program for that. So the JDS gave a lot of seats, 28 out of 212, to people who didn't get tickets from other parties and fielded them in their non-traditional areas. They've won a few, as we saw in the morning. Then the BJP did all that leadership change and said, no, we have to strike out of just being a Lingayat party. And the Congress wanted more than just the Ahinda. They wanted to break the Lingayat fortress of the BJP, the north and central Karnataka. And I think that the Congress's strategy basically has turned this into a transformative election. How long that Lingayat vote is going to stick to the Congress party, that will of course depend on how they behave with the community in the next 5 years, whether representation and share and power is given, because there are already too many takers. But I thought that the breaking of the Lingayat fortress and the breaking of the Mandya, the southern fortress, has been a standout moment for me. The Congress really strategized very well. I think they realized that these are the places we have to go to. As I told Maria, even on the day of the poll of the polls and this morning, the questions that the Congress asked throughout the campaign, from the beginning to the end, was whether the Lingayats would be with the BJP or not. They stuck to it. And we've seen too many of campaigns where the BJP has been setting the agenda. The Congress managed to do it for this time.
Whether the local Ligas will be staying with the JDS, that was another question. And whether the Muslims will stay with the JDS.
Now, what would be the divide in the Muslim vote? Obviously, as I said, they wanted to breach both these fortresses, the Congress, because they realized that only one will not do. The other also has to be dealt with. And I think they strategized pretty well. So it was a transformative election in that sense, that you have this vast swath coming into a social coalition for one party.
Okay. T.S. Singh Devji, this broad basing, as I keep saying, has happened in Karnataka. This was usually associated with the BJP, that they can get multiple castes together because of their ambitions or welfarism. But this is now...
No, the BJP has been extremely successful in
have succeeded,
UP and other states on salami slicing, this large OBC chunk, separating the Yadavs and the non-Yadav OBCs. They've, salami sliced it away, the non-Jatav Dalits, etc. So I think the Congress kind of took a leaf out of that book. And in Karnataka, certainly it's a very Congress-minded state. Let's not forget that it was Congress which got Indira Gandhi elected to the Lok Sabha post-emergency, when she lost her elections from Raebareli post-emergency elections from Chikmagalur. Mrs. Sonia Gandhi fought from Ballari for her first election. And so it's a Congress-minded state. I think they really rediscovered their mojo. And it is a fact
so I want to ask that question to T.S. Singh Deo. T.S. Singh, will the Congress now claim that they are the fulcrum of opposition unity? They know how to bell the cat. They have a formula, and this formula is when they become a regional player.
So difficult question to answer. And opposition unity is still in the making. We have the BRS trying to form another grouping. We have the Congress, which has been a leading party, maybe seeing itself as one of the leading players in opposition getting together. So it's difficult at the moment. It's very difficult. We had the Chief Minister of Bihar going over to Orissa, and then we had the Orissa Chief Minister's comment that he is going to stay away or equidistant from all parties.
Equidistant from both the blocks.
It's a long way still.
Yes. So will this mean, this victory today mean some movement, fast-paced movement on the opposition side where there will be more meetings? Mahima, will we be seeing that? Some more optics in terms of showing that we are now really fighting it out, we have got the mojo back?
I think that is we've always maintained that we will keep fighting for the ideology that we represent as a party, and I think the entire opposition today stands for the
entire opposition.
Entire opposition stands for the constitution and its and its sanctity. I believe that it is the constitution and the people's interest that has to be kept at the core of whatever agenda any political party is functioning with. And let me just say, I was just reminded of that day when Rahul Gandhi ji delivered that speech in Karnataka, the historical speech when he was getting drenched while speaking, and the Kannadigas that stood there to hear him out as he walked the streets of Karnataka for the pride and plight of the Kannadigas as he understood their issues. I think that day was a game changer in Congress's history with Karnataka. The opposition also is going to take away this message, and the entire country is going to take away this message
let's see how it actually
the phenomenon
plays
out. That Modi or the BJP is not invincible today. There's no God in the Indian democracy, and that the people's issues, if at all there's a God, it is the people's issues.
Okay, so let's see how it actually plays out. We are slipping into a short break. Lots more news and updates on the other side. In fact, MV Patil, the tall Lingayat leader and someone who could emerge as a possible deputy chief minister in Karnataka, will be joining me shortly. straight to MB Patil, top Lingayat leader of the Congress party, who has won from Babaleshwar by 15,000 votes. And his 6th assembly win since 1990. He was also Bijapur MP 1998. MB Patil ji, बहुत badhai. Congratulations to you. How are you looking at your own victory and the Congress party's number at 136?
See, we were confident that we'll get 125 to 140 seats because people will remembering the Congress government, the previous Congress government of 2013 to 2018 headed by Sriramulu. And of course, the last 4 years, the misrule of the BJP, there was no development, not even a single house in any rural constituency. I repeat, any rural constituency, a single house was constructed. And the corruption was rampant, you know. It was named 40% commission Sarkar government, you know. So now all the communities, irrespective of the scheduled castes, the scheduled tribes, the Muslims, the backwards, and even the Lingayats and Vakilgas, all these communities have voted to the Congress, and we could achieve this number.
And Mr. Patil, particularly about the Lingayats, there is a visible shift towards the Congress. Who do you think should be credited for it?
See, what happened when Virendra Patil was the PCC president in 1998-99, we got a historic 176 seats under his leadership, Lingayat PCC president then. He became the chief minister. Thereafter, he was to be removed because of his ill health. He had suffered a serious health issue. He had a paralytic stroke. And when he has to be replaced, there is a anti-propaganda against the Congress party that they have removed Virendra Patil. Thereafter, they shifted to the Janata Party and subsequently to the BJP. This was the first time now, the Lingayats have decided after the Yadurappa's removal, then the Jagdish Shettar, then Lakshman Sodhi issues and all this. So Lingayats now feel that BJP is no more the party for Lingayats. They are using us and they had different agenda on their menu.
So, because there are 37 Lingayat MLAs out of 136, are you of the opinion that there should be a representation in the government?
Naturally, the representation too will be there naturally.
You're saying it's a natural thing?
I was 5 years major irrigation minister. I was home minister. And so subsequently other Ishwar Khandre, so many other ministers were from Shan Prakash Patil. Representation will be there in the naturally for all communities.
As former Home Minister, do you think you deserve to be the Deputy Chief Minister or perhaps Chief Minister now? Because, let's not forget that Lingayats have voted and there is a shift that we are talking about.
See, question of the Chief Minister, always the Congress party, it is a procedure that the legislature party will meet. Then there will be representatives from the High Command. They will observers from the High Command. They will come and take the opinion of the MLAs and report to the AICC President, now Mallikarjun Kharge ji. And Sonia Gandhi ji and Rahul Gandhi ji and other senior leaders, they all together decide on the MLA's opinion and decide the Chief Minister. So there's nobody that anybody can say that I want to become a Chief Minister or any community I want to become a Chief Minister. It won't happen in Congress,
Yes, but in terms of representation, do you think there is a need for a Lingayat Chief Minister or a Lingayat Deputy Chief Minister?
Naturally, Lingayats have to be given the due. Lingayats have to be given the due. So other communities also, which are all there, who voted for us and all this. So all the communities are given to the due. Similarly, Lingayats have to be given the due.
So Lingayats have
to be recognized because now there's a homecoming for Lingayats to Congress. And this shift, has to be further consolidated in 2024 elections. And thereafter, the first time when Lingayats have moved, they should be given a lot of prominence and they should ensure that the Congress recognizes Lingayats.
Okay, so you're calling it a homecoming. Zaka, the managing editor, also has a question for MB Patil. Zaka, go ahead.
Yeah, please.
Mr. Patil, I just wanted to ask you again about that Lingayat question. Do you think that this is comparable to what happened in 89? Of course, like you said, the Congress party was deserted by the Lingayats after 1991. And then ever since, the Lingayats have stayed largely with the BJP, and many would say that was a Yediyurappa vote. And Mr. Yediyurappa has now walked into the sunset. Do you believe that this is a pivotal moment for the Congress to reclaim what used to be one of its pivotal vote banks?
Definitely, no. The Lingayats have this time they have voted in favor of Congress. That they have now come to know after the Yediyurappa's removal, the shutter issue and the Lakshman Savadi thing. And even after Yediyurappa's removal, it was not Bommai to be made the chief minister. They had a different hidden agenda. When the Lingayats protested and all this, it was inevitable for them to make Bommai as the chief minister. Otherwise, they had a different agenda. They would have made Prahlad Joshi or someone else.
Okay, one final word. You have a Kuruba leader, the CLP leader, who is one of the contenders to be chief minister. You have a Vokaliga leader, your KPC president, as one of the contenders to be chief minister. And you're saying Lingayats also need to be recognized. How are you going to juggle all of this?
See, no, there's no question of justice. Sriramulu is the tallest leader in our party. And you can see your poll, this one also. Across parties, he's the most popular leader. He's the mass leader in the party. And so it was Yediyurappa in BJP before. So now Sriramulu is in a different league. And of course, PCC President D.K. Shivakumar also is a good organizer. As a PCC President, he organized himself building the party. But what I'm talking to you is this, the chief minister will be decided by the opinion of the legislators and the party high command. But I'm talking about Lingayats have to be given due representation. They will be given and due recognition by all means, so that Lingayats should feel that, okay, this party has something to offer.
Okay, M.B. Patil, thank you very much for joining us and many congratulations once again. It has been a pretty spectacular victory of the Congress party. Like I said, it's comparable to S.M. Krishna's victory in 1999. Nalin Mehta is also there with us. Nalin, what are the big takeaways for you in this election? We've talked a lot about Vokaligas and Lingayats. Obviously, they are the dominant caste and have for the last many decades in Karnataka. But for me, I think this consolidation of backward castes and classes is also a story to take away.
No, absolutely, Zaka. There are 5 or 6 key factors in Karnataka this time which are different, which are major shifts in the local polity. The first is that across rural Karnataka, the Congress has won hands down. It's won the majority of rural seats in Karnataka, which is the opposite of what had happened last time when the BJP had won the majority of rural seats. The BJP has held its own in urban seats. They are more or less on even Stevens in urban seats, but in rural Karnataka, the Congress is hands down the winner. The second is that the hard Hindutva has never done it for the BJP in Karnataka. The BJP has always been a Lingayat-based party. One of its key pillars has been the Lingayat vote base. Now the BJP the Congress has done major breaches in the Lingayat vote bank. The BJP has held some of that, but a significant proportion has gone to Congress. The Congress has doubled its seats in the Lingayats. The third, I think, is the decimation of the JDS. So you've seen a Vokaliga consolidation behind the Congress in the old Mysore regions. The amount of vote share the JDS has lost, that's gone to the Congress. That's made a huge difference. It's moved much closer to a 2-party polity as opposed to a 3-party polity, and that's made a huge difference. I think apart from that, the Congress managed to build a much larger, bigger social coalition. You look at the SC seats, you look at the ST seats, it's a clean sweep by the Congress in both those reserved categories. So in that sense, this is a very complete victory. In fact, even if you see geographically across Karnataka, the only region where the BJP has actually increased is the greater Bangalore region. In every major geographical region of Karnataka, the Congress has beaten the BJP hands down, which is very different from last time.
Okay, we have Sadanand Gowda, BJP MP from Bengaluru North, joining us live. Mr. Gowda, when we spoke in the morning, you were fairly confident. What went wrong for your party?
Practically, I am not in a position to explain what happened and how it has happened. We never expected such a result. Practically, I think that the Congress people were able to do some activities which they could able to catch the votes from the people at large.
What are these activities
we never
that you're
thought
talking
that See, their so-called assurances, they never, they assured everything, but they never performed well so far in the earlier days. The performance part is practically, it was nil earlier. You might have seen their assurances. But this time, I don't know, by putting big boards here and there, giving assurances to the people, they made some mesmerism to the voters. Thereby, they could be able to get so much of a seat. I don't know, practically BJP has not failed in any area, either in reaching out to the voters, the reality is what they have done. 3.5 years of performance, it was extremely good. During COVID period, you know, we stand first in the state.
But Mr.
Even
Gowda, the question is that you had a leader
GST.
in Basavaraj Bommai who was somebody who did not really inspire confidence in people. You had a rebellion during ticket distribution. There were challenges of that nature. You tried to make it a national campaign when it was a very, very localized campaign. And that's where the big challenge for the BJP was.
No, but last 3.5 years, 90% of the assurances given by us, this has been fulfilled by BJP Chief Minister Yediyurappa and Basavaraj Bommai. And even recent reservation policy, it has reached out to each and every people, even the major communities like Vokaliga and Lingayat and even SC and STs, their reservation has been enhanced. But totally the Congress people tried to mislead the people and they have succeeded. That's all.
But Mr. Gowda, you talk about these communities. You look at the Vokaliga dominated seats in Old Mysore. Congress is winning almost 3:1 compared to BJP. Even in the Lingayat belt seats, Congress's strike rate is 60%. SC and ST dominated seats, in fact the ST dominated seats, you know, some real big names, including the likes of Mr. Sriramulu, etc., have lost today. The point is that in these larger communities, it seems like the Congress built a better social coalition and they got their message across to a wider social coalition than the BJP was able to.
You are right. I don't dispute what you said. Of course, we did everything, but we could not able to reach out the voters. Of course, our cadre, they failed to reach out the voters as far as our works are concerned. But Congress people, they gave some false assurances. They tried to mislead the voters, but they have succeeded in their effort. That we have to rethink all the activities that what we have done and how we have failed in our areas to reach out to the voters.
One final word, Mr. Gowda. For the last 30-40 years, BJP in Karnataka has been synonymous with Yediyurappa. Mr. Yediyurappa is now walking into the sunset. Is it time for a generational shift in the Karnataka BJP?
Sir, certainly I do concede. Because of that only 75 new faces have been given seats. And out of which nearly 17 people have won this time. See, certain experiments that need to be done when there is a shift to the younger generation across the country, that we did in Karnataka. But as you rightly said, the Congress people, their assurances and whatever the promises they have made, somehow it has mesmerized the voters across the state. But we have to wait and watch what will happen, what happened in Himachal Pradesh, that same things may happen in Karnataka
All right,
also.
Mr. Gowda, thank you very much for joining us here on CNN News 18. Maria.
And Zaka, you were talking about the rebels. You know, the fact is that several rebels won and a number of them lost, including the big name in Jagdish Shettar. So it has been a mixed bag as far as the big response that is coming in. Lakshman Savadi winning with a huge margin in Athani. Then you have other leaders, you know, in UB Savarkar and others. Jagdish Shettar, as I said, losing in Hubli Dharwad. Putawama losing in Rajaji Nagar, and also there is another loss for the BJP. Then there are a huge list again. MP Kumaraswamy losing in Mudigre. Then other numbers that as you can see on your television screens. But the larger message, Zaka, this is a strike rate of 20% for the BJP in terms of its new faces?
Yeah, I think probably even less. Out of the 75, the 75 new faces that they had, the BJP 14, down 8 from last time. The Congress won 50 out of those 75 seats. Like I said, I must add, many of those seats were in Old Mysore, where the BJP has never won and was unlikely to win. But having said that, even in the central districts, in the northern districts as well, the Lingayat-dominated seats, where the BJP did well last time around, a lot of that, changing the sitting MLA and giving it to a new person, that experiment somehow has not worked for the BJP, certainly not in this election cycle. I also want to quickly check on the sitting MLAs that they dropped, how many of them won, how many of them lost. Again, I'm not sure this is a record that the BJP was hoping for. Out of the 28 sitting MLAs who were dropped, the BJP won only 13, down 14 from last time, which means that 14 of the MLAs who were dropped in those constituencies, some other party has won. In fact, 15 of those constituencies, the Congress won. So again, the idea of dropping sitting MLAs, other than in the coastal belt where they got 3 or 4 seats in a bunch in the coastal belt, there's very few other successes outside of the coastal belt for the BJP when they dropped sitting MLAs. So that formula that they adopted in Gujarat, UP, may not have necessarily worked in Karnataka.
Nistula, why? Why do you think this tried and tested formula did not work in Karnataka?
Well, it's a different state, of course, from Gujarat and UP. There is no point in comparing apples and oranges. In UP, in fact, when Swami Prasad Maurya shifted over to the SP, a lot of the plans to drop sitting MLAs was actually shelved. And we had that situation in eastern UP where the heavy anti-incumbency against sitting MLAs was sought to be ameliorated by Prime Minister Modi camping there for 3 days and doing intensive campaigning there. So in Karnataka, what has happened is, I'm extremely clear on this, that they wrecked the one big community that had stuck to them, which was the Lingayat community. The support base was kind of in the desire to do a Gujarat in Karnataka, which is that in Gujarat, BJP also depended on one community, which was the Patil community at some point. And then when Prime Minister Modi took over as Chief Minister, this entire shift happened and Keshubhai Patel was then pushed to the background. He rebelled, he put up a new party, etc. But Prime Minister Modi was able to handle all of it, and Gujarat BJP made that transition of becoming a pan-Gujarat party with all communities supporting this thing, and a non-Patel chief minister there. That attempt had failed, and I think that was one of the big reasons where the BJP did not protect its fortress. It overreached, and then it just collapsed on that sword.
Yeah, Nalin, add to this point particularly, I mean, it's a formula which works in multiple states. The BJP has been strong in Karnataka. The central leadership's involvement in the state is there.
But Maria,
yes.
No, but Maria, the point is that the BJP grew because the Lingayat vote stuck to it. And then you messed around with it without a proper plan B.
I keep coming back to this. We keep saying.
If you're like in Gujarat,
so may I say, Zaka, may I say?
Yeah. No, I just want to make one line, which is that I think we are underplaying how much the Lingayat vote in Karnataka for the BJP was linked to Yediyurappa. I think it was a Yediyurappa vote. The last time, the last time it cracked like this, Yediyurappa was out of the BJP. Yeah.
So and BJP came number 3.
So absolutely, Zaka. So what's happened, Zaka, is that the BJP removed Yediyurappa as chief minister. He stepped down. He didn't contest. He campaigned vigorously, of course. The Prime Minister held up his hands, and so did Amit Shah later on. But by then the damage was done, even though they tried to do the damage control. The BJP is in transition in Karnataka. They have not found a replacement for Yediyurappa and for the interests that he represents. And that has hurt the BJP seriously. It's been also confronted by a Congress in this state which has a very strong regional leadership and across Sriramulu represents the larger Hinda coalition. DK Shivakumar represents the Vokalega vote bank, and with Mallikarjun Kharge, you had a strong Dalit leader who also is the National Party president. I think at a deeper level also, the whole narrative of double engine Sarkar did not work in Karnataka. It works in certain states when you also have a strong state government.
Yeah, so I just want to say that they templated a model and they try to impose it. Sometimes it works, many times it doesn't. You had to be careful about a state like Karnataka, which is huge. It's your only window to the south. And they proceeded without a proper replacement for Mr. Yediyurappa, who could command the same sort of respect. If you recall, Maria, when he quit,
absolutely,
he came back, said all the right things, but he then sat for 3 or 4 days with Lingayat much leaders who demonstrated by their presence that they pretty much still backed Mr. Yediyurappa. And therefore, Mr. Bombay, who was a Lingayat, was put in place as a kind of a palliative. That palliative didn't work.
So, is it that in this loss...
So, may I add to this, Nistula? May I add to this?
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead, Nalin.
I do want to say that there are multiple factors that go into an election. Compare with UP. In UP, the BJP got its caste matrix right, it got its Hindutva positioning right, and it also had a government which was performing on several schemes, which is why double engine worked. It also had a strong leader in Yogi Adityanath. Here, look at Karnataka. Polarization did not work. Hindutva did not work. The caste matrix didn't work for BJP at all in a state where caste coalitions are really important. And the government on the ground didn't work.
And
so
Nalin,
all
that
that you had
actually
left with
is how
was
the
Brand
election
Modi.
results are seen. Nothing seemed to work from one side. Everything seems to be working for the Congress here, and that is the reason why that number of 136. Please stay with us. We are slipping into a short break. Several newsmakers lined up on the other side, so don't go anywhere.
accept the verdict of the people of Karnataka with all humility. And I also take the responsibility of the debacle in the district.
हमने नफरत से, गलत शब्दों से ये लड़ाई नहीं लड़ी। हमने मोहब्बत से, प्यार से, दिल खोल के ये लड़ाई लड़ी और कर्नाटक की जनता ने हमें दिखाया कि ये देश मोहब्बत इस देश को अच्छी लगती है।
It's a big victory for the Congress party. The people of Varna constituency, particularly the voters of Varna constituency, has given a befitting reply.
I can't forget Srimati Sonia Gandhi coming to meet me in jail when all these BJP people put me under jail.
And in Bangalore and the rest of Karnataka has decided. What a victory it has been for Congress party. It will certainly give a huge fillip to the party which has been down and out for the longest time, losing multiple states, losing state after state. The Congress winning Karnataka with a convincing 136, up with 56 more seats than what they got in 2018. The BJP is down. A disappointment, certainly. The party will have to introspect a lot. What have they not done in the state? What has not worked? And what should it do to ensure that in 2024, this is not repeated? That in 2024, and particularly in assembly elections which are held in southern states, they come up with surprise. Just look at the assembly. The Vidhan Sabha in Bengaluru will be looking like this. 136 for the Congress party. The halfway mark is, of course, 113. The BJP at 65. JDS decimated to 19. But yes, its vote share may be down, but it is not completely out. What will JDS do? The third player in this triangular contest. Not really. Towards the end, it became a bipolar contest. JDS faces an existential question in 2024. So this is the assembly of Karnataka. And Zaka, we have the big newsmaker now joining us.
All right, the first big newsmaker joining us tonight on election day, Mr. Veerappa Moily, former Chief Minister, former Union Minister, senior Congress leader. Mr. Moily, first of all, congratulations. A phenomenal victory this for the Congress party. Comparable almost to what SM Krishna won in 1999, 136 this time, 132 back then. What would you attribute this victory to? What were the reasons, according to you, the top one or two reasons for why the Congress won in the extent and the degree with which it won?
Yeah, here right from I think last 3 years, we have been united. Congress has been united at all levels, whether it is the booth level or the block level or the taluk level or district level or the leaders at the state level. This is the unity which acquires win for the Congress party, and hate politics was vanquished. And so many factors for the victory, because ultimately the Karnataka is the bastion of Congress party, and all this religious divide, the caste divide, which is created by the BJP party, and that gave them some temporary success, but it cannot give always a permanent success, because ultimately it is the Indian National Congress which is the natural governance party in Karnataka.
But Mr. Moily, you say the party was united from booth level to block level. Yes, that is true. And particularly at the leadership level, they were united through the course of the campaign. But now we are seeing openly ambitions coming out, whether it is DK Shivakumar or Mr. Sriramulu. Do you believe personal ambitions will get the better of what is a historic win for the Congress party?
No, I don't think it will, it will definitely will not come on the way of the stability of the future governance. This will be sorted out because we have a democratic process in selecting a leader. The opinion of the MLAs, elected MLAs will be taken, and on that consensus, the AICC will form an opinion and they will give a verdict. It will not take time. Tomorrow, 5:30, they have already scheduled the
Who do you think is
MLAs.
best suited to govern Karnataka from the Congress party?
That, I don't want to impose my views on the CLP or the MLA's views. And you will have to wait for a day or to, to know it, and it will be done quickly.
Since you're saying that, you will not really hazard a guess, but the question is that there is a shift in the Lingayat votes. The Vokaligas have voted for the Congress. The Dalits have voted for the Congress. Do you think there is a need for proper representation of each and every community in the government?
No. That in the government, yes, we'll have to give adequate representation to all the communities. Because ultimately, even with all these things, the 65% is constituted by backward classes, minorities, scheduled caste, scheduled tribe. And rest of the percentage is from the Vokaligas and Lingayat. But in the Congress is concerned, number of decades, the Lingayat and Vokaliga and all these people work together, join together to elect Congress party. And we have seen that, such massive victory, not once, I think 3 or 4 times we have obtained in Karnataka.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. Thank you very much, Mr. Veerappa Moily, for joining us. In this hour, we would like to focus on what the election in Karnataka means for the national picture. So we're going to introduce all our other guests. GVL Narasimha Rao, BJP Member of Parliament from the Rajya Sabha. Shantanu Sen, TMC Member of Parliament, is also joining us. Kalanidhi Veerasamy is a DMK Member of Parliament. Abbas Haider, Samajwadi Party spokesperson. Let me start with you, Shantanu Sen. The Congress today can rightfully turn around and say, if we have beaten the BJP in a big state like Karnataka, then and the next few states elections that are coming up, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, are all direct BJP versus Congress contests, then the Congress can rightfully claim that it has the rights to be the fulcrum of the opposition going into 2024.
See, the result of this Karnataka election has given some clear-cut indications for the coming days. Number one, people of this country at large, they have made up their mind to oust BJP, to get rid of this BJP government. Number two, they have made up their mind, they have got consolidated in a way that in a particular state, the party which can defeat Bharatiya Janata Party should be supported, which was the clarion call given by Madam Mamata Banerjee, the party supremo of All India Trinamool Congress. Number three, the people of Karnataka, they suffered a lot because of there was scarcity of job, there was scarcity of food, total non-governance, and BJP and the majoritarian and authoritarian politics of Bharatiya Janata Party.
The fact is that the Congress party is the only national party. All of you are regional players. So, you can fight in your respective states, but when it comes to the large chunk of 150 constituencies for the parliament, it is a one-on-one contest between the BJP and the Congress. So, will the parties such as yours accept that the Congress party is best suited to lead the opposition going ahead?
I hope you couldn't get my point. Congress party definitely is a national party, but it doesn't mean that it can fight in each and every state and it can defeat BJP in each and every state. As for example, in Trinamool, so far the state of West Bengal is concerned, Congress can hardly take on BJP. So far the state of Tamil Nadu is concerned, it's only DMK which can take BJP head on. So for the state of UP is concerned...
Okay, so it has to be a state-wise fight. State-wise fight, fine enough. Let me get the Samajwadi Party representative.
It has to be a state-wise...
State-wise fight, that is the best template going forward. Samajwadi Party representative, are you of the similar opinion? That chunav local hoga, regional parties are har state mein apna chunav lade.
Definitely, if you talk about Samajwadi Party in Uttar Pradesh, BJP's vote percentage has gone down by 10%. Like in 2019, it was around 50%, which has gone down to around 40% in 2022. So this has been, and I'm sure by 2024, BJP is going to lose badly in Uttar Pradesh because they have got like around 60.
What about the Congress?
So this is for
कांग्रेस पे सवाल उठ रहा है.
Sorry?
कांग्रेस और आपके इक्वेशन की बात हो रही है.
See, the problem is basically the people of the country, they are focusing to remove BJP from power. This is the 20th state Bharatiya Janata Party is losing. I mean, Karnataka would be the 20th in past around 4 to 5 years. So this is
then
what
in
has
that
been
case,
happening
will
around
the
country
Samajwadi Party agree for a united opposition going forward in 2024? That BSP, SP and the Congress and the RLD must come together to take on the BJP on those 80 seats.
See, we Samajwadi Party strongly believe that all the like-minded parties who want to, work together for the development of the country, who are, so they should come together and they will come together certainly before 2024 election. This might be preponed or postponed, but yes, people of the country are fed up with the divisive politics.
GVL Narasimha Rao is also joining us. You don't agree with this analysis that the way people vote in a state election, particularly in Karnataka, is necessarily the way they vote in a Lok Sabha election?
No, Jaka, I think this has been proved time and again. I don't think only people who want to fool the people can say, no, this doesn't happen. Karnataka has shown how BJP got 15% votes, more votes in Lok Sabha polls. Why only 2019 election? Go back in the last 20 years, every parliament election, BJP won a large majority of seats in Lok Sabha. But when it came 18, 20, now in the last count, it was 26 with one independent. But in the assembly elections, we've never secured a majority. What does that tell you? That certainly the BJP's vote substantially increases when the turn of parliament elections come.
I want to show that in a graphic here on our magic wall, GVL. Give me a moment and I'll get Mr. Moily also to respond to that after that. We have a graphic which shows exactly that, and particularly in the state of Karnataka, it is almost like a bipolar thing. The voters vote in one way when it comes to the Lok Sabha election and another way when it comes to the Vidhan Sabha election. In 2013, the first time Sriramulu won and became chief minister, the Congress had 122 seats and the BJP had 40. But just less than a year after that, when the Lok Sabha election of 2014 happened, the BJP had 17 MPs, the Congress had only 9. You cut to 2018, when the BJP had 104, it was the single largest party, but the government was formed by the Congress and by the JDS. JDS had 37, Congress had 80, so it was Kumaraswamy's government. And then a year later, look at what happened. It was 25 out of the 28 to the BJP, only 1 to the Congress-JDS alliance. So which is why in 2023, even though the Congress has won this historic mandate of 136, BJP reduced to a distant second with just 64. In 2024, we don't know how this will play out, because given what happened in 2019 and what happened in 2014, the same voters of Karnataka could once again come back and back the BJP like they did in the last 2 election cycles. So, Mr. Veerappa Moily, what does that mean? Are the voters now discerning enough in a way that they are happy having one party in power in the state and another party in power at the center?
It has, if you see, of course, you have a narrative only from 2013 onwards, as far as Karnataka is concerned. You'll have to go back to the narratives for the last 30 years. Then you can always say that whenever the state government was formed and with a majority or absolute majority, that has also contributed highest to the central pool. So you cannot just take 2013 or 14 as a landmark to demonstrate the fact that that we are not going to come back and will not get to the absolute majority as we have today. I think this is only a myth which will be exploded, which has been exploded even this election here for the assembly.
Actually, and, in the case of Karnataka, if I may just
Congress,
10 seconds, sir. In the state of Karnataka, in 2008, again, you had Yediyurappa come to power for the very first time. In 2009, the UPA returned to power. You go back to 2004, while the entire country voted for UPA, and it was a surprise election. Mr. Vajpayee lost, and the UPA came to power. In Karnataka, SM Krishna lost. So actually, in Karnataka, for the last 20 years, you have this bipolarity. You can actually plot it back all the way to 2004.
All these stories, I can illustrate and show to you that that is only a a fiction and a myth, because there was no business for S.M. Krishna to go advance the election and conduct it. Everybody advised him, no, if you go for that, we will get a defeat. But in spite of that, he opted for the election, and that is how we lost.
Okay,
so
GVL wanted to make a point.
Each of the incident I can just say, So there is a different narrative, but the narrative is quite clean. That
GVL and then
with the opening, with the
All right, GVL. Quickly, please. Thank you.
No, I would only like to submit that this has been the story not since 2013, going back to even 98, 99, for at least a quarter century, for which I can show you the data. Every election, the BJP won more than 17 Lok Sabha seats. In 99, we won 18, then 2004, 18, then 2009, 19 parliament seats, then 17 in 2014, and going up to 25. So, in all these elections, we won a large majority of parliament seats, but we never won an assembly majority even once. That's the story. That tells you a story. And even when Congress did very well, for example, in 2004, in 2000.